Hello, Twitch people.
And live from YouTube. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mehcast, and oh, what a motley crew we are.
No, we're not. Welcome to... Yeah, well, no. Oh, he's got to say it on his end, and I've got to say it on my end. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mehcast, and oh, what a motley crew we are. Where's the thumbnail? I don't know. YouTube deleted it. Last time, I was trying to beat up myself.
Delete! Delete!
And previously, I had defeated my dad as a gym leader. This week, I am grinded between sessions. Now,
Party boy.
Now John Bon Jovi is a Blaziken.
So, you know that copy pasta earlier that Kevin, that some SJW is saying that should be turned into, that what Kevin said should be turned into a
Okay,
pasta.
we're going to require context for this. We're going to require quite a bit of context for this, because the stream was not present for us having that conversation. That happened before the show started.
Oh yeah, and I also forgot we were live too.
You got on Kevin. You got on Kevin for stealing my thunder about us going live, and then forgot that we were live.
Okay, so for context sake, there have been minors on Twitter who have gotten on a anime about a woman, or rather a certain fictional.
Well, anime ad.
An anime
yeah,
ad.
it's an
ad.
Yeah, it's an ad for a woman with giant boobs.
And
playing a Japanese instrument.
And minors are like, oh, someone should teach these men how women work, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
okay,
you're a minor. You're a minor. School's currently in session. Go back to school.
Okay, so I am a human being hailing from the real world here. Hang on what? I can hear the game. But the game audio is not coming through. What the fuck is going on?
Hold on, I'm checking in my stuff. Yeah.
Discord audio and my microphone are coming through, but not the damn game.
Okay, so then the idiot who was also flying the trans flag, because of course they are.
Of course they were.
Is like, oh, let's make this into a copy pasta, and I'm like, so you enjoy
your funeral?
And I'm like, so you enjoy failing class? All right.
Where's the Pokemon Center? It's Route 22. Where's the Pokemon Center? I need a Pokemon Center. This is Victory Road. That's not where I want to go.
I don't know where I'm gonna go when the
What are you gonna try to go to Mount Silver?
I mean, I was right outside Mount Silver when I left off, so I presume so. I was in the process of grinding last session.
Yeah, no.
Let's see, my highest level Pokemon is at level 66. I'm gonna try and get them, what, level 70?
Yeah, 70 is the recommended level.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
well, I need to go.
Do that though. That would require a lot of that. Wait, what generation is Alex playing?
He's playing Gen 2.
Oh, okay, but wait.
He's got the fast forward function on his emulator. He's got this.
Where is he going though? Is he going to Victory Road?
No, he's going to Mount Silver because he's almost done with the game.
Okay, so I'm at Victory Road. I'm headed for Silver.
Dude, I thought you were telling
Okay,
me
that's not a Pokemon Center.
And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
No, I already beat. I think I already beat the Elite Four,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, last I checked, you even curb stomped Kanto.
Yeah. Yeah, these fools ain't got nothing on my nuts.
You're
So-
gonna love myself until you're bifocal curious.
Haha. Well, I'm not paralyzed, but I seem to be struck by you. I wanna make you move, 'cause you're standing still. If your
Let me look
body
through the,
matches what your eyes can do, I wanna make you move, me on my way to you.
Okay.
I keep finding all these ponytas. I can't do anything with them. Brock, if you need any extra ponytas, they're up here.
Get back
I know how much you love horses.
Get back in the sack.
Okay, so
Horses.
Gizmo, you had some news regarding Matt Easton.
What
Matt Easton, by the way.
about Matt Easton?
Yeah, who is he? What's his deal?
Go to news and topic.
Oh, it's the Rapidash. I kind of feel like I should catch this one, but I'm almost done with the game, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to refresh my memory. Hold on, let me see.
Go to news, topic, suggestions, scroll up.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna pull that up on my laptop too, just to make sure. There was some other stuff that happened this week, I think, that I wanted to talk about, but I've completely forgotten about since then. And but you know, oh yeah, the Unity thing. And let's talk about the Unity thing while we're loading other topics real quick.
Oh,
So,
you mean, Shadiversity. So what happened
Oh yeah, the
was,
Shadiversity thing.
yeah. So what happened
Yeah, you
was,
can go ahead and talk about that.
yeah. So in like, so I'm gonna put it in a way that, best way possible for everybody to understand. Him and another YouTuber, I think was called Gladiatoria or something like that, did a collab together. But then the guy Gladiatoria was told a bunch of stuff about Shadiversity that weren't true. You know, he's a sexist, he's a misogynist, he's a racist, you know, all this other stuff. And stuff that might be true, but what doesn't matter, that wouldn't matter in the first place, like, say, he voted for Trump or something like that.
Shad is Australian.
Yeah, that's
he
what...
can't vote for Trump.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying, though. That wouldn't have mattered even if he supported him. Let's say he was able to vote... Let's say he was able to vote for him, and
he voted for Trump in the election for Australian president.
Yeah, let's say he was able to in the first place. That wouldn't have mattered at all, right? But here's the thing:
I'm gonna be the best president of all time. I'm down under.
But here's the thing, though: because of all of that, Gladiatoria actually believed everything the trolls have said, and severed all ties with Shadiversity. All because he was easily he easily believes everything on the internet.
Because they're looking for a reason to cancel people. Like I am not the biggest Shadiversity fan on the face of the planet. I think a lot of the sword stuff, a lot of the sword and weapons stuff that he puts on his channel is like stuff that the sword and weapons community already knows.
Right, but like normies wouldn't know. Normies wouldn't know that though.
It's like some of the stuff that he says is like overly simplified, right, in terms of like how it's presented. And like his videos are too long for the amount of content that they have in them. And like if he boiled things down more, which he's doing more often now, well, he'd be more watchable, I'd say, to somebody who has a like a more than cursory knowledge about certain types of weapon history. And granted, his analysis of medieval battle tactics is something that I was not exactly familiar with, because despite being a sword guy, I like, I'm mostly like a one-on-one type of fighter in that regard. So finding out about all of the shit that goes wrong in Game of Thrones when they're fighting the armies together, and the armies are basically just action figures clacking together. That was really fun to watch.
I really wish he wasn't really that. I really wish he didn't go hard on the nunchucks though.
Yeah, okay, so the thing, that's another thing that some people just have weapons that they hate, and and their opinions aren't exactly 100% informed or valid about it. And Shad unfortunately gets caught up in the heat of the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think, because he gets caught up in the concepts of like traditional quote unquote weapons and stuff like that, and is like, nunchucks are like a theatrical thing for movies and things like that. Nunchucks were actually a weapon, and that was used. They're an improvised weapon, and it's admitted that they're not a very good weapon in the hands. But it's that he kind of gets hung up on like a specific type of one type of thing and acting like
Shadman?
No, Shadiversity, not Shadman. That's someone else.
Like he's getting Mauler and Rags have made that joke a few times on EFAP.
He's back. He's actually back too, and he's making art again.
That's funny. I'm surprised at that. I thought he was going to jail for the rest of his
No, from the only stuff I was able to find out was that he got arrested for assault with a machete, but there has no been. There have been no.
Even Ralph got arrested for that.
But here's the thing, though, that beyond that, there's nothing else anybody knows. Beyond.
Chris Chan's arrest.
Yeah, but beyond that, though, nobody else knows what happened exactly. There's been no reports of death, no reports of like drugs, no reports of like other weapons he had on him. As far as I know, he's only been arrested for assault with a deadly weapon.
See, that's much better than I thought it was, because there were reports that Shad was like. Shadman, not Shadiversity.
Right.
Got to make these clear. There were reports that Shadman and was like freebasing cocaine or some shit.
That hasn't been proven either. That hasn't been proven either.
What the fuck?
If that has happened, that's probably like a joke that he's probably done, because there's been a lot of Shadman roleplay. Keep in mind, Shadman is also a cosplay costume now.
Yeah, I've seen Shadman cosplays at local conventions, and people are like, "Oh, nice Call of Duty cosplay" or whatever. And then there's the people who know have a wink and a nod.
Right.
But going back to Shadiversity though.
All my individual problems with some of the quality of his content aside, he does make good stuff, but he is somehow an Australian Mormon, and that actually plays into this to some extent. And because if I ever meet Shad, I'm going to ask him, so you're a Mormon and you're not American? I didn't know that was allowed. But
that's kind of the same question that someone. That's kind of like how someone asked so it's sort of like how there was like a tattooed guy who asked a Muslim, was like, "Hey, is it haram if I get into the Muslim faith and I already have tattoos?" And they're like, "Oh no, that's fine."
That's interesting.
Yeah, apparently it's fine if you already have tattoos and you give into the Muslim faith, just as long as you don't get another one while you're in the Muslim faith.
What if your tattoo is the face of Muhammad?
Muhammad Ali?
No, like Muhammad.
Like the Prophet Muhammad.
Muhammad, yeah.
I know, I'm making a joke.
No, I gotcha. I'm just, you got to make sure. Anyways, yeah. That aside, right, so, Shad's
Shadiversity.
Cool, Shadiversity is generally speaking quite cool. I'm surprised, honestly, that he is as cool as he is, considering his religious beliefs. But
he really is. I mean, he's very lax. About
he's also like if you had to say which of the two of them would have like a weird ass meltdown and start blocking people by like around 2019-ish. I would not have initially said Linkara, because Linkara has similar. Linkara has some similar religious beliefs as Shad. Like he is a very interesting character, her Linkara. But we'll leave Mr. Eminem Chaser to the side for now.
Green Eminem Chaser.
Yeah.
You gotta make
Green
that
Eminem fucker. Oh, for fuck.
Yeah, he'll block people just for us for pointing that out to him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like Shad doesn't swear a lot, but Linkara doesn't swear a lot either, you know. Oh, and you know.
He's a pussy.
But,
That's the difference.
Yeah, it's but Shad'll laugh along with you when you make fun of him for his odd word choices, and Linkara likes to block people.
Yeah.
when you say that he sounds childish for not swearing, because like you could write around it, but you don't. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna get off Linkara and we'll talk about the Matt Easton thing.
He wants to send you to the principal's office every time.
Yeah. Matt Easton did this. Matt Easton did a video with Shad and his guys, and yeah, Scala Gladiatoria is Matt Easton's channel, and apparently Shad did a video with Matt Easton at some point, and has decided that that Shad is some kind of horrible, nasty bigot that must be destroyed. Yeah.
No. Oh, Alex. If you want to do it right, you gotta do it like
nasty bigot.
No. You gotta say it like Eric Vale. You need to be stopped.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So I'm just gonna boil this down to a couple of lines from Easton's post here.
Underage syndrome he must have.
Basically, yes. However, yesterday after filming, it was brought to my attention that on their second channel, one I have only visited a handful of times a long time ago. Oh, this person is now promoting political and social views which are absolutely against my own, and indeed against the principles, the groups, and events I run. I was not aware of the nature and extremity of this person's views before yesterday. People can, of course, voice their views in a free society, but I am equally free to disapprove of and disagree and disassociate with those views, which I hereby do in black and white terms. I do not align myself at all with the person's, and he's talking about Shad here, views on these topics, which should be patently obvious to anyone who knows me or has followed my channel closely. Now, I only know of Shad. I gotta do some quick research here. I only know Shad has the Shadiversity channel, and then he has the Night's Watch channel, which is his media review channel. And his media reviews are like pretty standard, you know. It's not exactly what I'd call top tier. Shad is probably best consumed as like a side piece on Mauler's channel. Well, like for EFAP, he's a great guest on EFAP, but a lot of his solo stuff is, like I said, you know, it's only about 20 to 40 minutes, but it's not the best, you know. But you know, Shad has
not the worst either.
It's not the worst either. Like, I could easily want... Hell, if I had to say here, of the people who are on his side of the spectrum who make videos like this, I'm gonna watch Shad's content before I watch, like, Ben Shapiro's shit, right? Because Ben Shapiro is chronically wrong about all kinds of media stuff. Of, like this motherfucker is so wrong, he's had to walk back his... Ben Shapiro has had to walk back his own media takes about 500 times, roughly speaking. Don't actually research that number, I haven't checked, but the most notable example was when he said that Ben Affleck would be a terrible Batman, and like the day after he saw Batman v Superman, he was like, "Oh shit, I was wrong."
Well,
this,
that's not really.
That episode of the Ben Shapiro show came out like a week before BVS.
Well, that's not really a fair one because a lot of people were thinking the same thing.
And those people were also wrong, though. But yeah, Shad also has a really good video where he criticizes Matt Walsh for his shitty takes about like movies, cartoons, and video games and stuff like that.
I know a friend who really dislikes Matt Walsh, and I know
Matt.
Too, because of his,
Yeah, Matt.
what he said
Well,
about
that friend might be me because I've shit talked Matt Walsh on this show a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm not really for Matt Walsh, but I'm not against Matt Walsh either because
yeah. Matt
I'm
Walsh
not, I'm not against. I'm not against or for Matt Walsh because it's another one of those, broken clock is right twice a day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because when he's right, he's right. But yeah, he said some stupid shit.
Yeah. Matt Walsh is one of those people who desperately needs to learn when to keep his mouth shut because he spouts off opinions. And granted, I'm aware that I'm living in a glass house in this regard because Attack of the Clones is my favorite Star Wars film. But Matt Walsh has some humdingers of opinions compared to that, and Attack of the Clones isn't really my favorite Star Wars film. That's Return of the Jedi. But yeah, Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars film.
At least you chose a good Star Wars movie.
Yes, but yeah, like Matt Walsh has some humdingers of opinions that are basically like real men and pick up sticks and watch paint dry levels of fucking retarded, and
I never understood his takes on anime and cartoons, man.
Well, he might just be a giant closeted homosexual. Well, that's just, it's gay behavior to dislike anime, even if the anime is gay.
If you don't like tits.
Is he an apex homosexual?
Yes, he is an apex homosexual. To rival even that of,
Andrew Tate?
No. Oh, Lannister. What's his name? The Elder Lannister guy. Tywin Lannister. There we go. Oh, that's where the original meme came from. But yeah, like people, like, genuinely, this is fun fact. If you start calling, like Orthodox Christians and people like that gay for saying that they don't like something, it boggles their minds. They don't understand you. I was like, then you just...
It's like if people blindly hate pit bulls for no reason. I'm just like, dogless behavior.
Well, if they hate pit bulls, then that's for a good reason. If they do just blindly hate them just because, then that's stupid of them.
See, yeah, so, like, that's another thing. The UK is working on banning pit bulls, and the UK has bigger problems than pit bulls at this point in time, and has for a very long time. But a handful of dog attacks are a big deal. We're not going to deal with our shitty infrastructure. We're not going to fix the BBC. We're not going to we're not going to work on our horrible surveillance state. No.
Nor are we going to work on getting people to realize that maybe you shouldn't make allegations about somebody 10 years later, looking at those who made allegations against Russell Brand.
Oh god, that's another thing we could talk about, because like Russell Brand. Okay, we'll talk about Russell Brand once we get done with with this thing here. So yeah, I understand that many people will be angry that I've collaborated with that person at all, even before I knew their views, and I hope will partially appease you. But I will not associate with them again now that I know the full facts, and there will be no output from yesterday's filming coming from me. Yeah. That's from Scala Gladiatoria, the guy we were talking about. So, yeah, Matt Easton here. So yeah, like I was saying here, like we can go through and and we can just look at a bunch of like the last few videos from Shad are like, okay, hey.
Dude, I fucking love you, noobs.
Yeah, they're great. Hey, but yeah.
Check out what
Yeah,
I
so-
posted, Gizmo.
So like the accusations here of like promoting political and social views which are absolutely against my own views is because like he says he's talking about Shad's second channel, and this is Shad's only second channel that I am aware of. So I'm just gonna click over here to there's the Shadlands. The Shadlands is another channel. Well, let's check this out here. No, okay, so the Shadlands can't possibly be what he was talking about, because Shad's basically just talking about all the cool shit he's building on this. It's a DIY channel, basically. Hey, the Shadlands is not a fucking political channel. Night's Watch has to be what he's talking about, so we'll just go through here. Wheel of Time Season 2, Episode 2 review. Wheel of Time review. Review of Ahsoka. Review of One Piece. Review of Ahsoka again. Review of Iron Man. A video talking about how they might be working on an Iron Man movie with an AI Robert Downey Jr., about how Disney's stock price is falling, about how Blue Beetle is failing at the box office, about how
Guys, I'll be right back. I'm laughing too much at this.
okay. A video about how Baldur's Gate has a lot of content in it and the rest of the industry is complaining. A video about Shad had basically, telling young men and who don't have a lot of hope in their lives that they can, build themselves up and, just because society says they're shit, they don't have to be shit. A video about Barbie, a video about e-thoughts versus AI girlfriends, and I don't care what he says in that video. That should not be a controversial topic to talk about.
Yeah, I
a
don't
video
see any
responding
controversies here.
A video responding to Angry Joe, another video responding to Angry Joe, a video about the perspectives of Oppenheimer and communism, a video about how he doesn't like the Barbie movie and how Barbie, I don't necessarily agree with his perspective that Barbie was man-hating feminist trash, because the film does very much try to put you on Ken's side in that regard, because Ken and the Kens are kind of treated as an underclass. A video about how Hollywood had spent several years putting Sound of Freedom off and basically keeping it on the shelf. A video about how the Snow White remake is gonna be shit. A video about AI art where Shad explains how all of the people talking about how AI art is theft legitimately don't know what they're talking about, because that's not how that fucking works. It doesn't store anything that's in it. It's doing the same thing it would with a fucking photograph, and most of the stuff the AI art is actually trained on is public domain photographs. Fun fact. The lawsuits are bullshit. They're based on literally, I did some research on this, and the lawsuits into stuff like Civility AI and things like that are based on concepts that the program is storing literally terabytes of images, and it's not possible for that to happen, and it's storing diffusion pathways is for how it creates a legible picture out of literal static. It might not be right, it might not be good, but it's not theft. Video about how Indiana Jones is a box office failure, about how Helena Shaw was a terrible character, or a video about Henry Cavill leaving The Witcher, and now we've gone back 2, 3, 4, 5 months now. Yeah, we're going. I'm just gonna scroll down. Yeah, fucking pedestrian anti-SJW opinions for the most part, or like
You sound
like
me,
nonconformist.
dude. Come on.
Like it's nonconformist opinions.
Dude,
You know,
we
Shad's
already
not.
got one person that bitches about SJWs. That's me. Do we really need another?
What did
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I'm just saying.
About SJWs, we don't need another person doing that too.
I'm not sure what
There's
you're talking
nothing-
about. I'm just talking about how what Shad's videos are. Like, there's not really any political stuff on here. There's nothing about him, you know, being a terrible human being on there. There's nothing about him like harassing anybody on there. Or we've danced the response videos and reviews or calls for harassment danced about a million times.
Come on,
Okay,
man.
okay, thank you. I wasn't entirely sure. That was delivered entirely deadpan.
I was also busting my own balls because you were bringing up how insufferable SJWs are, and that's how.
Yeah, no. Oh, he's.
Kinda like the way
It's.
talk.
Yeah, it's pretty standard fare here. Or like I'd hate to find. I would hate to know what this guy's opinions on like EFAP would be. And by the way, hey, not too long ago, Hassan Piker, actually, Hassan brought up during the XQC drama on the Leftovers podcast with Ethan Klein. Hassan Piker brought up the videos that EFAP made about him again, and bitched about that. And I was like, oh, they're still making videos about how I walked away from the stream while letting somebody else's video play on my show. And I was like, they haven't made a video like this in over a year, and you know, regardless, like, okay, like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Should I make room for Mirror Coat in my moves list?
Who are you teaching it to?
I'm teaching it to Cheetah Suicune.
You know, every time y'all mention Hassan,
Mirror Alex, here's the thing about Mirror Coat. It's a move that deals back double the damage you take from a special type move, but they have to hit you first.
Okay.
So it's not a very practical move unless you're playing competitively. So I wouldn't recommend it.
So yeah,
Hassan Chop.
yeah, basically, hey, this is a bunch of nothing burger bullshit, and
Yeah.
Who's the top hiker again, guys?
Bruh.
I forgot who it was. I know it's some YouTuber, but I forgot.
Chenk's nephew. He's a Twitch streamer, and he's Chenk's nephew.
The-
Okay, one of the fucks from Young Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
He used to be
every
called the
time I think
Professor
of-
on there.
I think of that Looney Tunes character, and it makes me laugh hard.
He's also infamous
Yeah.
for saying that the USA deserved 9/11.
And for saying, dude, what am I supposed to do? Die?
People should spam Hassan Chop to his Twitter or his Twitch.
No,
He's Twitch.
please don't.
Yes.
Please, we don't encourage this. We really
No, we don't. We don't
Yeah, we're
encourage.
not saying go
We
ahead
at the
and do
Metley
it.
Crew. We at the Metley Crew do not encourage this behavior.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Good.
I mean, if you wanted to.
So, one of the... Okay, so Alex, you remember that whole bit where, Vic accidentally... It was streaming, and when he woke up and whatnot?
Yeah.
So...
He was shirtless.
Yeah,
Some people
so
got
he-
on his ass about it.
Yeah, so... Oh, he ends up, you know, just kind of writing that off as a bit of a joke, as one would. But in that
Yeah.
situation... But
Yeah.
people are like, how could you make a joke about reading someone's name in an email? I'm like, he made an
Have you
honest
never-
mistake.
Have you never said something out loud that you shouldn't have?
Yeah. Plenty of people have. I have.
Vic Man bad.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like with Donald Trump. Okay, granted, I don't like Donald Trump, but I do think he's overhated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, hey, like I was looking in here. I do deeply care if a person has views that I deem to be venturing into the realm of bigotry, such as sexism, racism, or homophobia. Shad doesn't have any of that in his fucking videos. So yeah, we can just go ahead and move on from
anyway,
that.
So recently the Harley Quinn show had aired an episode where Harley was pissing on someone's grate. Even then, they just...
Is it Nightwing?
No. And it turns out Nightwing's body went missing.
Did they take him to the Lazarus Pit and resurrect him as the Blue Hood?
I'm sure they did.
We don't know because the show doesn't elaborate on that detail.
They're gonna take him to the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, so that's the most likely scenario.
Jesus, I gotta be careful when I vape from now on.
Did you vape too much?
Well, no. Well, I think I vaped more than enough to be zooted.
Zooted.
Do you have a suit to go with that suit?
Zoot suit.
Are you planning on having a riot with that zoot suit?
And it's like... And of course, Barbara's in her wheelchair and whatnot because, you know, Joker decided to kill the joke.
Yeah.
So now they've got to set up for further plot, and of course they have to reference the fact that Nightwing's ass cheeks are still outlined on the coffin, even when he's not there.
The joke makes sense in context, but it's just too stupid.
Yes.
There's a lot of shit.
Look.
Fuck. Maybe I guess I shouldn't check out the Harley Quinn.
Oh,
No.
So the joke. So what he's saying is that there's a. Well, he obviously said it already that there's a. Dick's coffin that has an outline of his ass on it, but the joke there is that Nightwing's ass is always being complimented. It's a thing in the comic books you can look up too, where they even gave them each butt cheek a nickname.
Why?
Because girls love.
That sounds like what my girlfriend calls my.
Okay, well. Anyways.
Meaning, you know, if a girl likes man ass, girls like man ass.
No.
So what else?
She calls my front part something. She has a nickname for my front area. I shit you.
Okay.
We don't want to hear
we
it.
didn't need to know that.
Is your heat-seeking moisture missile?
So someone ended up posting a clip from an episode of My Hero Academia season 6 that was added exclusively for the anime and it isn't in the manga. Where
the point is nicknaming sexy parts is a thing.
Yes, we know.
Anyway,
Yes, we know.
Anyway, let's
we got it.
on. As I was saying, and there's a part. There was a part in season 6 of My Hero Academia where, during the flashback detailing Toya Todoroki, who had revealed himself to be Dabi. And
The house elf?
The elf?
Dobby?
The house elf?
Lester has given Dobby clothes.
I'm trying to be serious here.
I'm sorry.
Giving Dobby clothes. It's free.
Anyway,
Sorry about that. Please continue.
Anyway,
I'm done.
So, the scene is so essentially Endeavor and Rei Todoroki, who had since then been who's been a little less than stable due to living with Endeavor, who is a proven sociopath. And then the marriage wasn't even, a one that she even wanted. this was
I-
forced on her because
I don't.
Endeavor
I
had
don't
the
think.
clout.
And I don't think even Endeavor wanted it to begin with. It's not like she loved her.
He loved her.
No, I don't think so.
No. I'm saying.
No, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, I don't think either of them loved each other. It's like it's one thing. It's one thing if maybe she loved him, right? But it's another thing entire. But this is something else entirely. I don't believe either of them love each other because he said himself, oh, I'm only trying to get a child with both our powers, not one of our powers.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like someone who loves their wife.
Yeah, and so the anime ended up adding a scene where, or after Endeavor is seething with jealousy over All Might being, All Might. We see a scene of him with a crazed look at Rei, and her eyes widen in shock, knowing what that look means, and it's like it's like Endeavor kind of wrote off Toya for having too much of a dangerous quirk because it keeps on damaging him, and the next scene we see Rei ends up giving birth to Todoroki, and she's already like
worn out.
Yeah, very worn out. Whatnot. Like I said, this is a scene exclusive for the anime. It's not in the manga. And the thing is that I kind of figured this was probably a scenario that might have happened throughout Endeavor and Rei's relationship. Because, unfortunately, Endeavor is the type of person who would go to just about any lengths to get what he wants, no matter how heinous it is.
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Unfortunately, it's like people are acting surprised about this. I'm like, guys...
You know what always gets on my nerves is when people complain about Endeavor for being kind of a dick, and
it's kind of
you do realize
he's established as a dick from day one.
Yeah,
he's not even like a Vegeta dick. He's just a complete
the point
dick.
The point that I make is that, and not only is he established like that he's very much established as not necessarily being like the guy that you wanna
root for,
you wanna model on, But like he's not, like he's the number 2 hero, not really because he wants to be, but because he wants to do good. It's because he wants to. He wants to be the best,
Yeah, he wants to be as Hazel Fernandez said, number 1. She's the singer for Ichigo's theme song.
Number 1.
Anyway, and the whole point of Endeavor's so-called redemption arc is that Endeavor himself, after looking back on his actions, genuinely believes he cannot be redeemed.
Yeah, he becomes self-aware.
Yeah, he becomes so self-aware that once Rei gets out of the hospital, he was going to get a house for his family to move them there, and so he would stay at his own house to wallow in his own misery. Because he feels what's best for his family is them being as far away as humanly possible from him.
Right, makes sense.
Yes, and it's actually a very sensible and realistic approach to a character like this. It's just I'm like, guys.
Oh yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, oh, if you like Endeavor, or you're a bad person or something. Okay, can we go over? We'll talk about Darth Vader. People like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Are people not allowed to like bad characters anymore?
Yeah, and
what was the point of Game of Thrones? There were a bunch of bad characters in that. There were some good characters in that.
People are fans
who
of
had
Griffith
to do bad
as a
things,
villain. People are fans of Griffith as a villain, and because throughout the entirety of the Golden Age arc, he's a very effective and well-written one.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like, and the thing is that And if you're gonna say that that people who like Endeavor are inherently bad people,
Kiss my ass.
tell me, how many people are fans of people like Vegeta, Sasuke Uchiha, Okiora, Grimmjow, Sir Crocodile?
Well, here's the thing about Vegeta, though. Why I think it's not really fair to compare Vegeta to.
It actually.
It's not. No, it really isn't. Look, here's the thing. When Vegeta was going around killing people, you could say that it was part of like how Saiyans were back then. But here's the thing. He was under Frieza's command the entire time,
and yet,
ever since he was a kid.
And yet, even before, the Saiyans were under Frieza's regime, guess what? They still did the things that Frieza commanded
Not
them
as
to
brutally as Frieza commanded them to. They were at least reasonable enough to try and like form alliances if they wanted to. Frieza, on the other hand, said, "Lol, nah, just kill everybody."
Yeah, but Vegeta
might have
doesn't feel a tinge of regret. He doesn't care, that his father, and his entire race were destroyed. He didn't give a shit about any of that.
He kind of did, considering
really,
he was under Frieza's control.
No, like there was some stuff in what he said, but like ultimately it's irrelevant. Yeah.
But
here's what I'm saying though: Vegeta at least shows some emotion to show that he's clearly wants to change, and he clearly has a human side to him. No pun intended.
He was affected, you know.
Yes,
it clearly shows that because of what he did, it affected him more than he thought, as well as the audience thought. He obviously had regrets. Endeavor, though, he's been going on for years doing it with the wife, with the regrets, with that shit right in front of his face, and only recently does he start feeling regret.
And then, and going back on some of the other characters, after Sasuke had left the Hidden Leaf Village, he had done some very heinous things. Things like, the dude basically became a borderline terrorist, even aligning with the Akatsuki and whatnot.
Yeah.
Kidnapped the tailed beast of the Hidden Cloud Village, thus sparking a war between the nations of the world and the Akatsuki themselves. All because Sasuke couldn't keep his revenge boner in check.
If you want to call that a boner.
Oh, it is. It really is, Gizmo, because the dude obsesses over revenge until very late into the worst war arc in anime. And Sasuke gives such a half-assed apology, and then he's just off the hook. He's just absolved of all of his crimes.
Should have ended with Sakura killing him, I still say.
Yeah,
Sakura
should have really ditched her feelings for him.
It should have ended with Sakura at least beating him down to Naruto's level. And then Naruto kills him.
Yeah.
And maybe just to add in a little feels, just say that just have them forgive each other.
Yeah, and then we've got the two Espada that I talked about, Grimmjow and Okiora.
Spade.
Throughout the entirety of their runtime in Bleach, they've done some heinous things. There are Arankars, who are basically hollows with Soul Reaper powers.
Oh yeah.
And essentially, they have terrorized both Soul Society and the world of the living. And Okiora was responsible for why Orihime gets brought into Wako Mundo, for Aizen's little scheme. And Grimmjow has unapologetically taken out Rukia, just so that he could get a 1v1 with Ichigo and whatnot. The man does not feel any remorse at all for anything he might have done during the Arrancar saga, or the amount of hollows he's had to kill. Then there's Ukiura, whom seemed to have finally learned about heart, but only after so long of emotionally and verbally torturing Orihime. So
who should have been the one to fill his dark soul with light?
Nobody.
Somebody.
Can anybody find me somebody to love?
And of course, Aizen is also an irredeemable dickbag. Yet people like me are actually kind of fond of him as a villain, because he's, the man who's always 2 steps ahead of you. And whatnot. He's calm, he's charismatic, he's composed and whatnot.
And full of himself.
Yes, that too. Because ego is also part of it. So, the point I'm trying to convey is that if you're gonna get on people for liking a somewhat villainous hero character, then why don't you get on people for liking characters who have arguably done way worse than Endeavor?
Because then
Sometimes they
won't,
wind up doing that.
because then they won't
it's
be able
usually
to
just
share
as dumb.
porno art.
It's just like, hey, I don't sympathize with his goals. I think he has a cool suit, I don't like how it's not that deep, fam.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Well, until they start making fan art.
Uh-huh. Anyway, let's see.
I don't want
Let's
to see.
see. Yeah, let's go.
For the live action and How to Train Your Dragon, they decided
Fuck 'em.
to
Fuck them.
cast Nico Parker to play Astrid.
Fuck them.
And if
Yeah.
you look at the pictures very closely, I don't think she looks like her at all.
No.
They can fuck
Like,
themselves.
the nose is the closest thing I can maybe see, but this is from a very far away screenshot.
Yeah, I'm like...
This is why I think
This
the One Piece show works better than anything Disney is doing live action.
It's DreamWorks.
If you got
Disney or DreamWorks.
It's Disney owned.
No, it's not.
Not.
It's Universal owned.
Disney like it's a live action cartoon movie. It's gonna suck either way. Suck
Yeah.
Bullsors off of a goddamn bowl.
Yeah. Now, yeah, there's a lot of people praising the live action One Piece show
Why?
for
Oh,
actually
okay,
being
no trailer.
good, because there's let's just run it back to Cowboy Bebop. There was that show that made a bunch of needless. That show made a bunch of needless additions and subtractions and changes and things like that, and ultimately made everything worse. All they had to do was have a cast
To the
that
fucking source.
they didn't even need to do that. All they needed to do was have a cast who looks enough like the characters from the show, acts enough like the characters from the show.
Hey,
Oh,
2 out of
God
3
damn
ain't
it.
bad.
And sorry, my chest is fucking. Is that thing where I gotta stretch my. I gotta stretch my.
Oh, you gotta
my
pop your
pecs
chest,
and then-
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so all they had to do was get a cast who looked, acted, and was dressed like the cast of the show, right? And
Okay.
then you throw away all of the scripts of the series, and you start from scratch. You say, "Hey, oh yeah, this is the continuing adventures of the crew of the Bebop." This takes place after season 1 ended, and whatever, Pay no attention to the fact that Jet looks different, and pay no attention to the fact that,
People got on the people who harassed that one artist about the way they drew on the AU, Miles Morales, has got on me for pointing out the fact that Jet was not, you know, a black guy to begin with.
Yes,
He was
Jet was not black originally.
No.
Fun fact,
He wasn't even half.
No, he was a pale as fuck white guy who happened to be voiced by a black guy.
Yeah.
I guess in some moments I kind of get why they would think that he's kind of black, but even then, that's stretching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just say, here's some more adventures. The crew's all here. We're not gonna worry about adapting Cowboy Bebop because Cowboy Bebop already exists and is good. Cowboy Bebop as a format that can be anything.
Yeah. They
can go anywhere.
Yeah,
they can do anything.
Yeah,
and
even
you
if
can
it's
just
a,
say,
even if it's a more adult-oriented show, it's still, you know, a Saturday morning cartoon.
yeah, it's
terms of
episodic in
formula,
nature.
yes.
All you gotta do is take the format, come up with an interesting premise of the week, and then that's it.
Yeah.
We are now living in a world where We're now living in a world where Spike Spiegel will somehow survive getting shot 1,000,000 times at the end of the last episode. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you
Or
know,
we can just
anime.
say, hey, oh man, it's a good thing you guys got there in time. He was almost dead. We give him a senzu bean. It's fine.
We got the Dragon Balls.
We summoned up the dragon, and everything was fine from then on out. We now have an infinite fuel supply for the Bebop, so we don't have to worry about that.
He ate Sanji's food.
Yeah, that was all they had to do with Cowboy Bebop. They could have taken like rejected Firefly scripts and adapted them for Cowboy Bebop. They could have done all kinds of stuff. They could have taken in the Star Wars TV show that George Lucas was working on, like a Smugglers style live action TV show about
like Cascade.
yeah, kinda. Because George Lucas, after the Star Wars prequels were done, and he was gonna make a live-action in space opera Star Wars show. Excuse me,
Yeah,
where
okay, those chairs even
Shit.
where they, you know, it was basically gonna be space cowboys, and you could have used all the scripts they wrote for that.
Take your face ride with the cowboy, baby.
Could have done anything, but they didn't.
Instead, they gave us Seinfeld in space.
People wanted more Cowboy Bebop.
Of course,
Instead,
they wanted more Cowboy Bebop. I mean, that
we've
ending
wanted more
was
Cowboy Bebop
We have
since the
Cowboy-
show ended. We've wanted more Cowboy Bebop since Cowboy Bebop the movie came out.
We have
And
Cowboy
unfortunately,
Bebop at home. Cowboy Bebop at
Cowboy
home.
Bebop at home.
Yeah, it's Cowboy Bebop at home, indeed.
And in fact, you could have justified some of the costume changes by saying it had been a little while between in the events of the last episode and the events of Cowboy Bebop, the live-action series.
Especially since, like, what was his name? Donnie Cho? Donnie Chow?
John Cho, yeah.
John Cho. Okay, so Donnie Cho. I don't know where that came from. Especially since he's actually older. He's an older
Yeah.
gentleman. He's older than Spike Spiegel. They could have just made it be like he's an aged-up Spike Spiegel.
Yeah. Well, like, John Cho was exactly the right kind of guy to play Spike Spiegel approximately 15 years ago.
Right, but he could have done a great aged-up Spike Spiegel, like an
Well, yeah,
old...
it's like if you were making like a 1-to-1 remake of Cowboy Bebop as a live-action show, you
Right.
should have gotten it. Should have been made back in like 2008, back
Yeah,
when John Cho was a little bit younger,
Yeah,
or
and
back
also,
when Cowboy Bebop was newer, you know.
and
He was
also
probably
back,
busy trying to look for the White Castle.
and also back
Yeah.
when Keanu Reeves was considered for the part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was considered too. That would have been pretty cool. But I think the reason why they never got him was because of the stigma he had back then. People thought that because people thought he was expressionless. He can't act. I really never got the stigma behind all that. He can act. It's
Well,
just that
Fox
he's put into
also-
roles. He's mostly put into roles where he's like a fish out of water, and therefore he has to always have this sort of, but not really surprised look on his face.
Fox also, kind of pseudo blacklisted him because he turned down Speed 2 because he already had a commitment with a Canadian theater group to do stuff with them.
They're dumbasses.
Yeah, I'm echoing off of somebody. It's Gizmo. Gizmo, I'm echoing off of you again.
I don't hear any echo.
Tugo is trying to learn Wing Attack. Tugo can't learn more than 4 moves. Delete an older move to make room for Wing Attack.
I hear the
Wait, which Pokemon is learning Wing Attack?
Dratini?
Dratini?
Dragon thingy.
Dragonite?
It just evolved in...
Dragon
Dragonite.
titties?
It just evolved. Yeah, it just evolved.
I don't hear it, man. That's the thing.
What's its move set?
Let's see here. Dragon Rage, Agility, Twister, and Extreme Speed.
Get rid of Twister.
Okay, you sure?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, poof. Tugo forgot Twister, and Tugo learned Wing Attack. And now Tugo is Dragon Tails. Dragon Tails, Dragon Tails. It's almost time for Dragon Tails. Come along, take my hand. Let's all go to Dragon Land.
You know, I had a weird ass dream as a kid that someone made a Dragon Tales FPS.
Oh my god, I'm wondering.
When
What would the
I was a
plot of that
kid,
be?
for some odd reason, I had a dream that I saw a trailer for a Dragon Tales game, and it was a first-person shooter, and the dragon berries were grenades. And you had your pick of the main 2 characters that were the main 2 human characters, and Ord and Cassie.
Man, you know,
I
You
don't know
need
why
to,
I had that,
we need to make
I had
more-
that in my mind.
yeah, we need to make more first-person shooters out of shitty PBS Kids shows.
More than the tap dancing horse FPS.
I was thinking more along the lines of Maisie the Mouse, but yeah,
7 Little Monsters
Maisie.
FPS.
Maisie,
It's like
Maisie the
Doom-like.
Mouse being being kind of like a Deus Ex style game.
Alright,
And
I
more-
got
maybe more
Thunderbolt.
Quake. Maybe it could be more like Quake.
I don't know.
Alright, since I got Thunderbolt, I've got no reason to keep Spark around.
You're a minor. Get off Twitter and do your homework, mama.
Oh,
I like that. I like that.
You're a minor. Get off Twitter and do your homework.
Bitch ass.
Okay, so...
Get off Twitter and do your homework.
Okay, I'm done.
thank you.
Okay, so... Now that I've pretty much covered every other place with Surf, or that I could do at this point, it's time to go east.
Okay,
And suddenly the
So,
music
I-
changed.
real quick. So, Unity shit the bed recently, and
Yeah.
by that I don't mean in how the game engine usually shits the bed, and I don't mean Assassin's Creed Unity, the video game. No,
Yeah.
the guys who make the Unity game engine announced that they were changing their monetization policy. And that people
Yeah,
are
that
now
was a
going to
good
be
idea.
charged for every installation of every game that they made. Which, was
Excuse me.
gonna be... Yeah, that was gonna be kind of a big issue. Let me see if I can find an article here.
Weren't you already making enough money from the downloads of your engine?
Okay, so apparently they decided that no, they weren't making enough money on their shit, and weren't making enough money on their ad platform. From they were going to be sending people over to in the event of that. Okay, so Unity. So. Yeah, so they were announcing that they were basically announcing that they were going to be charging people for installing the game, installing the engine, and installing all kinds of stuff. And like people were asking, what does this mean? What does any of this mean? Because you're not being very clear. They were being quite vague about what the implications of their changes would be. And like one of the questions people had was like what is gonna be the issue if somebody like pirates a copy of my game and it phones home and it says as they installed it, am I gonna be charged for that? And people were, and Unity was like, okay, hey, we have a security system installed. Well, my question is, why is the game phoning home at all in the first place? My game engine should not be phoning the people who make the game. Anyways, so a lot of people have complained about that.
Yes.
And a lot of people, well, yeah, rightfully so. And never let it be said that internet bullying doesn't solve anything, because Unity has kind of started backtracking, it seems like, because they were saying, oh, a majority of people who use Unity don't actually pay, and we're kind of being screwed. And it's like, okay, you make a game engine and that is monetized, that monetizes like shitloads of games the world over. And yeah, this happened literally Tuesday, by the way. Okay, so this past Tuesday, right after our awesome show that we had, Unity basically burned the internet down. We have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community and customers and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We'll share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback. And Dan's Gaming replies, nothing but short of a full reversal on this policy is going to help. Even then, you have forever tarnished the trust and respect you spent years developing. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
They basically decided that we're gonna start fucking everybody, and people figured out that it was basically a method of trying to get some mobile game. I think it was Genshin Impact, which was made in Unity, to have to pay a lot more for their purposes. But
boy, is it a good thing I never got into that. I didn't really get into that game.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of getting into that game, but I don't know when.
But there was this joke going around that an old 4chan meme of pirate game, developer loses $60, pirate game, 5 more times, delete game, reinstall pirate 5 more times, and the developer loses like $300. Yeah, that was going to become true if what Unity said had wound up going through.
Following through.
Like their promises basically amounted to trust me, bro, and, this is the internet. We don't trust anybody. We verify.
Right.
Excuse me.
Now... So...
Oh, I have another thing to bring up. So, Simon Bennett, aka, I think his name is Pukina on Twitter, or something or other. Simon Bennett, got on Twitter and basically said that he thought, Simon Bennett is the, current head of production, and he's the EP for Power Rangers, and he was saying that Power Rangers needs to quote-unquote move past its tokusatsu roots if it wants to achieve mainstream status. And
no,
yeah, no, we can't
look.
We can't get rid of the things that make Power Rangers what it is. Otherwise, it's
look.
not Power Rangers anymore.
Look,
I
I've
said this
like
before.
Power Rangers.
Look, I have said quite a bit about Power Rangers that were less
Yeah.
than positive. If a number... And I have addressed some of these criticisms very politely to some of the people who've worked on it, and they were like, okay, yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and honestly, like, some of the things that Kevin has said are completely valid. I was just kind of winding him up on those streams, but because some of the transformation sequences go on too long, the stock footage is too much in some places, you know.
Yeah.
Well, they
Yeah.
fixed that as the show went on.
I-
Hulk and Skull can be annoying sometimes. I get it.
Annoying sometimes is putting it mildly.
But here's the problem. The
Unless they're
stuff
fighting
that
from
makes
studios.
Power Rangers what it is, the tokusatsu roots, the trappings of its genre, are key to why the few fans it still has have stuck around.
Yeah.
Power Rangers has alienated fucking everyone at this point. I mean, it's alienated people from the Saban era. It's alienated people who liked it from the Disney era. It's alienated people who only bought the toys. It's alienated people who only watch the show. It's
I'm
alienated all kinds of people because things are just so shit right now.
And
Oh,
I'm
the
sure
action
it'll-
figures were garbage.
And I'm sure it would alienate me, who has only recently gotten into the show. Oh, because of the passing of one of its actors.
Yeah, like, if Power Rangers decided tomorrow that, we're gonna try and be like Game of Thrones instead of like Power Rangers or like Breaking Bad or whatever the fuck, you know. Well, I'm just throwing out like mainstream TV shows that people like. Power Rangers would not court. Okay, so here's what happens when you try to court an audience that isn't your prime demographic. The prime demographic goes away, and then the people who weren't watching keep not watching.
Yeah.
And that's usually how this winds up going. And this is what happened with Resident Evil. Resident Evil was trying to court a mainstream audience and got with Resident Evil 6 and got the ire of everybody, because the mainstream audience followed the goddamn hardcore fans. Like if Resident Evil 4 hadn't been popular with Resident Evil fans, it wouldn't have picked up all that periphery demographic it got that made it so successful. Resident Evil 5, despite all of its issues, was still like it was better than Resident Evil 6, and Resident Evil 6 was Tenty says love Pokemon. Thank you, Tenty. I didn't notice your chat until now. Resident Evil 6 was a travesty of a video game, and its attempts to court the Call of Duty crowd, I guess it was wound up with, the game sold a lot at first, but nobody liked it. Nobody loved it. Nobody goes back and plays that. Nobody's like, I want to go back and play Resident Evil 6. They think about that Breaking Benjamin promo they had and I was like, oh, that was a shame. And, maybe they think about how Chris Redfield became an alcoholic, and they recycled that same storyline for Leon later in one of the films, to the point where I'm not 100% certain that they didn't just recycle the script for, what was that, Vendetta?
It was the third Resident Evil CG film.
Yeah, Vendetta. To the point where I'm not sure that they didn't just recycle the exact same script with minor dialogue changes and the names switched around. Because Chris finds Leon in a bar exactly the way Leon found Chris.
But here's the thing. No, actually, it wasn't Leon who found Chris. It was
not Leon.
Piers Nivens.
Yeah, Pierce. Resident Evil 6 was so bad, I don't remember any of the things that happened in it.
Why do I remember him?
I remember how Secret Agent Man would always just emerge from Ada, like he just shows up out of nowhere.
I fucking love that part of the game.
That was the clunkiest co-op I've ever seen in anything. Like,
gee, it's almost
actually,
like that.
no, the clunkiest co-op I've ever seen was in Aliens Colonial Marines, but this was a close second.
Gee, it's almost like maybe Ada's campaign wasn't designed with co-op in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when you try to pick up new demographics,
the older one
you're gonna be
are gonna be alienated, and they're just gonna not watch your show.
Yeah. Like
or read your comic.
one of the things. Yeah, so that's what happened with Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop didn't get a second season, and Cowboy Bebop ended on a shitty cliffhanger, with absolutely nobody interested in seeing where it went next. And they've done that with all kinds of shit. They did that. I'm surprised the fucking Full Metal Alchemist live-action movies managed to get as far as they did, and with being as shit as they were. But you know.
Yeah, and then of course, and it's still weird to this day that people would spite Vic so badly that when it was announced that somebody different would be voicing him in the English dub of the second live action. Spoiler alert, everybody got replaced for that, not just Vic.
Yes, because Netflix made a back alley deal with SAG-AFTRA that said that all of their productions for like 10 years have to be done exclusively through SAG, which is currently biting Netflix in the ass right now. Because now they can't produce any of their anime dubs because SAG is on strike. Ha.
Yep. Oh, and...
Well, it's not the first bad thing they've done anyway. That's biting them in the ass.
And you know, Alex...
But, you know, if My Little Pony decided to, tomorrow, like... So, My Little Pony has made some serious missteps with their latest TV show, though. Like the 3D CGI one.
Yeah.
It looks like every fucking 3D CGI... Yeah, if they turned My Little Pony into like something that was exclusively catered to the bronies, he's like that wouldn't have turned out well, and it wouldn't have retained the things that made everybody like it, and you know, because they kept making it primarily a show catered towards children, and they didn't try to turn it into like I don't know. Game of Thrones or some shit. And
you'd be surprised what the bronies can make with video editing software.
Okay, no, yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, and like the main show wasn't trying to cater to the cloppers, is what I'm trying to come across.
That's all I was talking about. But okay, if you want to go there,
and
I'm just, yeah. And Power Rangers, this is just another thing where people are saying, it's like, oh, I love this Japanese thing if it wasn't for the fact that it has all this Japanese stuff in it. And this is just another
dumbass
line kind of somebody saying something that would ultimately destroy the thing that it is. Like DMC Devil May Cry never got a sequel. Well, Devil May Cry 4 did.
Yeah.
DMC could have actually gotten a sequel, if anything, because the game really is not that bad, and neither is the story.
No.
It's the fact that the guy that was involved...
The story's alright, the soundtrack's kind of not great, but
it's the fact that the guy that was in charge was making fun of the past Devil May Cry games, like, he looks so gay, he doesn't look out of place.
Spoiler alert, people ended up liking the gay cowboy.
Like, if anything, they could have at least made it into like an alternate. They could have at least made it into like an alternate timeline to play, or like at least a prequel to the entire Devil May Cry games or something. But no, because the guy had to be an asshole and say that the previous game, it looks like he's gay. He wouldn't be out of place in a gay bar. It's like, oh yeah, fuck you too, buddy.
I mean,
we ain't buying the game.
Have you ever been to a gay bar? There's a lot of things that don't look out of place there, including straight people.
Right, but what I'm saying is that he's shit-talking the character that everybody loved, as if that was gonna win people over.
I'm just saying, and like there's things. There are the things he said didn't make any sense, and then Dante had white hair by the end of the game, anyways. And he still had the fucking overcoat on.
Yeah,
the only thing that they added was the fucking hoodie underneath of it.
Let's not forget that he tried to call out the past Devil May Cry games by having if you go to a certain route, you'll have like a white wig accidentally land on Dante's head and he'll look at like a mirror, and then
he goes, not in a million years.
Yeah, not in a million years. He just tears it off and starts shooting at the fucking demons again.
Well,
it's like,
yeah, like it's kind of insulting, but at the same time, it would have been a good joke if he'd gotten like white hair or like closer to the middle point of the game. He's kind of stuck with it, and then by the end, he's like, oh, I'm, it's kind of growing on me or whatever.
Well,
by the end of the game, he had it. But
here's what makes it a bad joke, though. Here's what makes it a bad joke, though. You have to go to a specific path to trigger that event. Otherwise, you're wondering what the hell. I thought this was gonna happen.
Oh yeah. No. The way you kind of do something like that is, I think all of this was probably he spawned from that one joke in X-Men about the yellow spandex, which was kind of funny back then. But I think,
but that also
the best way to do this is when the best way to do the kind of joke like this is when what's her name? Liv Tyler's character, her hands Betty Brant, and not Betty Brant, Betty Ross. Yeah, when Betty Ross hands Bruce Banner her the giant stretchy pants, and it's like they're way too big for him, and they're this bright purple that makes it incredibly obvious, and he sticks out like a sore thumb, and he just chuckles and says no thanks. Thinks like that's kind of the way you do something like this. It's kind of poking fun at it, but it's not. But it's not like
disrespecting it.
Yeah, it's not disrespectful.
Yeah.
But it's not like making Daredevil yellow in the She-Hulk show and then bitching about how he's yellow.
Ugh.
Like, you didn't have to make him yellow, but you did, and now he's yellow in She-Hulk. He had a much better looking suit. And then you
I like the
away
yellow
from
suit.
him.
I actually kind of like the yellow suit. I kind of like how out of place it is.
Yeah, but the fucking red and black suit from the TV show was way better.
Yeah. That wasn't really the red and black suit. That was just a red suit. That wasn't. When I think red and black, I'm thinking like the armored suit.
There were black highlights and stuff.
Daredevil has like 3 costumes, and not counting his bright ass red fucking suit that everybody hates. He's got the red. He's got like red and yellow, and he's got the black and red. The black and red so happens to be the armored suit.
No, I know. I'm talking about the one from the TV show.
One of my favorite aspects of
the Daredevil show.
Well, it's the fact that that even if they give Kingpin and some weird lines like "you embarrassed me" in front of her, they still made him look, appear, intimidating.
He was always intimidating.
Yeah.
They just have to put the right actor.
No.
That's the thing. He's played by a mountain of a man in
Vincent
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio used to be a bouncer at a Hard Rock Cafe before he was cast in Full Metal Jacket as Private Gomer Pyle, and he had a hard time adjusting to the new weight that he had to, gain.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because he used to be a big buff guy, and now he has to go to be like a fat guy. And oh boy, the complications that it had on his body.
I'm sure there was like a lot of diabetic stuff you have to deal with.
Oh yeah,
like these days, if somebody told me to gain weight for a role like that, is like, you're gonna have to buy me a fat suit because I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah, there's no way I'm doing that shit.
Yeah.
Like Chris Hemsworth, me motherfucker.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're already casting a fat ass to play a fat ass, but there's no way I'm gonna start gulping down a ton of cheeseburgers just so I can fill in a role in a movie.
And I already eat way too much.
And the thing about that role was the reason why D'Onofrio had to gain that weight was because he had to appear, weak.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a buff guy appear, weak compared to everybody
Yeah,
else.
it'd be like if you cast Arnold Schwarzenegger as pre-Super Serum from Steve Rogers, you know?
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, you could, but
Oh,
no one's gonna be
Or
convinced.
hell,
fight back,
if they
Bucky,
didn't.
I am too small, all and harmless.
Oh, or hell, if they
I don't
didn't,
like
you know, do
bullies.
what they, if they didn't use the visual effects for what they did to Chris Evans
Yeah.
in.
Oh, like they did when they had Matt Salinger or put on a limp and hunch over when he was playing Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if they didn't do that, it would be hard to make Chris Evans look weak and fragile, because Chris Evans, despite his stupid opinions,
he's 6'1", right?
yeah, he's fucking swole, man.
Yeah.
Well, not swole as Tony, not as swole as Robert Downey.
In Iron Man 1, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. And the thing is,
Not as swole as Chris Hemsworth was in the most painful film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Love and
I've seen The
Thunder.
Last Jedi, and I'd call Thor: Love and Thunder more painful than that.
And the thing is like, there's a reason why during the premiere of Avengers: Infinity War, or they were doing a thing where, or it was a fuck, marry, kill thing, and it was between Evans, Pratt, and Hemsworth, the three Marvel Chris's. The honorary Chris being Chris is Pine from Wonder Woman.
Is Chris Pine... You know, they have so much crossover between the MCU and the DCEU at this point, or DCU at this point.
DCU.
Yeah, because the DCEU, who is dying in a couple of months,
With Aquaman.
it's been on life support, but Aquaman 2, who is going to be the last film.
Yep.
I would say it's competing against a dead horse, but the horse keeps on being revived by some guy with the last name Frankenstein.
Well, its only competition is going to be the Marvels, and you know, people might be apathetic towards Aquaman.
Even if I am not gonna be, even if I have no interest in seeing Aquaman 2, just because Amber Turd's still in it.
Marvels, the movie with the
Marvels
the Marvel everybody forgot, the one with the Marvel everybody hates, and the one with the Marvel nobody asked for.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to say.
Is gonna
the
get
Marvels,
royally bodied in the box office.
Yeah. The Marvels has very little competition, but you know, people might be apathetic about watching Aquaman 2. The Marvels is a film that people actively don't care about and didn't want. Captain Marvel is the tumor that was grafted onto the MCU, well, one of many tumors now, that was grafted onto the MCU, who by people who didn't know what they were doing and had no ability to retcon properly or write a fucking movie. It's not a bad story in concept, but it was executed about as poorly as you could literally anything. And
Meanwhile, Spider-Man just be like, I'm Peter Parker. Or, hi, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Yeah.
I need an adult.
Yeah.
I am an adult.
Yes, so... You are an adult, well, only legally.
I am an adult!
I'm still a junior in high school.
Like I said, only legally.
God.
So...
That scene...
Yeah, that is the scene.
That
is the scene.
No, that scene reeked of Mrs. Robinson. Are you trying to seduce me?
Yes to you, Mrs. Robinson. People love you more than you
yes,
will
I have
know.
seen The Graduate. It's a great movie.
Yeah, hang on. Let's see here.
This is Peter Parker in the MCU.
Girls can't contain their wet pussies anyway.
What?
Yeah.
Where did that clip come from?
Mason?
Let's see here. Let's see here. Captain Carol. Jesus Christ, this bitch has too many names. Carol Susan Jane Danvers. Captain Marvel, known as the Cosmic Avenger,
the Avenger,
was born
everybody
in-
forgot.
was born in 1965. She is literally old enough to be my mother, and at the point
old
of
enough to be Peter's grandmother.
she was 60. She was 60 at the Battle of Earth.
She's literally old enough to be Peter's grandmother.
A 60-year-old woman was hitting on a 17-year-old, 16-year-old,
17-year-old, because he was at junior year by the time of Infinity
Yeah.
War, and then by
hitting on a
Spider-Man Far From Home, he's a senior.
So we have a 60-year-old woman and hitting on a 17-year-old boy. And by the way, hey, this one scene launched so much porn. There was so...
And the worst part is that Peter and Carol have dated in the comics.
The reason
comics, they were the same age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, there's a reason why they stopped dating. They've actually stated that they stopped dating because during work they get along really well, but outside of work they have nothing in common, and there's nothing keeping them together. So that's why they have to cut off the relationship.
That seems really strange, because I was like, I guess because like Peter's not a full-time hero. Like he kind of has a personal life.
Yeah, he tries to get like as personal life as he can. You know, dates, job.
Yeah, and then he ends up with Zendaya
Like-
for most of. Then he tries to get with Zendaya for most of the second in Spider-Man movie, and then unfortunately, she and his best friend Ned have to forget that he exists because somebody couldn't keep their mouth shut while Doctor Strange was chanting the spell, and somebody forgot to tell him what the spell does before doing it. So yes, it is both Peter and Doctor Strange's fault in that instance.
Yeah. But yeah. So I love how in the I love how in Captain Marvel's Wikipedia page here, or MCU wiki page here, or sorry, fandom.com page, fucking hell. They say, hey, Danvers found herself abruptly teleported to the bedroom of Kamala Khan, a teenage superhero who was a massive fan of hers. Captain Marvel is a character who has shown up a grand total of 3 times. A grand total of 3 times on screen in the MCU up to that point, aside from showing up in the Shang-Chi film, briefly.
Shang-Chi. Fuck your Shang-Chi.
It's
Shang-Ho!
Yeah,
I don't care.
Master of Kung Fu.
But do you have red hair?
Anyways, so yeah, that happened. And I love how they just don't really have an explanation for that. But yeah.
I bet you guys.
Does anybody give a shit about the Marvels?
Fuck no. Fuck
I
no.
love how there are these lesbian shippers who are constantly trying to prop up the film, but nobody actually gives a shit.
Yeah,
not even the shippers really give a shit, because we're just so far past that.
Yeah.
Like nobody cared about Captain Marvel. Nobody wanted Captain Marvel.
But we ended up getting her anyway because...
And now she's not even the most powerful Avenger anymore, or because this fucking Khaleesi showed up and super scrolled her way into the MCU.
It's not like she was the most powerful to begin with. If she wasn't able to go up against Thanos with the Infinity Stones, like, she's just like everybody else.
Like, okay, so canonically, I believe the 2 strongest Avengers are Hulk and Thor, depending on how enraged Hulk is at the point
Hulk
in
and
time.
Thor. It's just Hulk and Thor. Captain Marvel's bitch.
Like, Captain Marvel can fly, she can shoot lasers, and she can breathe in space somehow.
She lost twice in Death Battle.
Yeah. I don't, like, nope. Who actually likes her legitimately outside of the astroturfing?
Outside of the comic books, well, recent, outside of her old school comic books, nobody.
Yeah.
Because she's a massive bitch in the comics, and that's another thing.
And
Well, she is
why
now.
did
Like,
Civil
they gotta-
Civil War
you gotta
2
keep-
revolve around having her be Iron Man's opponent when Iron Man has no chance of beating her?
That's a very good question. So,
Iron Man always has a backup plan.
they basically
Yeah, I
tried
know,
to
but
make...
I'm just saying, like,
There are things going on where Marvel doesn't understand that fans of the comics don't necessarily like it when stuff from the movies is introduced in, and then some of them are objective improvements, like, you know, Spider-Man's organic webbing after the Raimi films, or some of the
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Well,
Well, you know, MCU Nick Fury being
that, you know, that's debatable because they did have to retcon that Black Nick Fury into existence in the 616 comics.
right.
But, you know,
Yeah, I hated the fact that they had to get rid of the original Nick Fury.
yeah.
yeah, because originally Nick Fury was a white guy, but most people won't know that.
The Nick Fury was a big, buff, white guy in his 50s with one of those like grandpa stripes, and
Yeah.
chewing a
Sergeant
cigar.
Fury's Howling Commandos. Go look up the comic.
He was chewing. The most recognizable version of him is him chewing a cigar in that blue jumpsuit, and somehow
We
he
never got to see MCU Nick Fury in a blue jumpsuit. We never got to see him with the cigar. We got the eye patch,
Shame.
but you know what would have been a good point for us to have Nick Fury in the blue jumpsuit with the cigar? That would have been Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was dog shit, and it didn't do that. And it took a whole...
Nick Fury.
That
You know
film,
Nick Fury, motherfucker?
sorry, that series retconned everything.
What did it
like-
retcon?
Okay, when I said everything, I meant literally everything. There is not a phase of the MCU that does not have something grafted onto it by this show. Like, people think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has some cancerous additions, and this show was even worse.
Poor Rhodey.
He was. Oh my fuck.
Yeah, Rhodey was a Skrull,
Yep.
but we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury's wife is now a Skrull.
Well, hey,
Even though- And
good part
she
about
has
this-
a different name, even though she even though she was a different character in previous, and we mentioned her before. You know,
there's a good part about that.
we
though.
mentioned
Double
Nick Fury.
Piccolo.
Nick Fury. His mom is now single, even though his dad was an important character. Well, not an important character, but like an important figure who was brought up a couple of times before. Or there's that whole bullshit about how nobody calls him Fury and everybody calls him Nick. So how nobody calls him Nick and everybody calls him Fury, even though there's a shitload of people who have called him Nick prior to the introduction of the Skrulls. You know,
It could have been better. It sounded like it could have been better if only certain people can call him Nick, and certain people can call him Fury.
like I don't know, Captain America.
I
If
don't
Captain
really
America called him Nick, that'd make sense. Tenty Tech says, let me pull this over here.
I
so
don't
can
really
actually
see. I really don't see Captain America calling him Nick or Fury. I see him usually calling him Colonel Fury or something like that.
Colonel or director
Colonel.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
director,
Custer.
Colonel
I
Nick
get it.
Fury, Director Nick Fury, that kind
So-
of thing. He's a soldier.
Okay, so Tenty Tech says the Captain Marvel movie was so forced. It was so disingenuous when they made it seem like she'd play a huge part in Infinity War.
yeah.
Well, it was more so, like the fact that they said that she was going to be. There were things that were teased about Infinity War with her that didn't pan out, and then there was stuff that was teased about her in Endgame that thankfully didn't pan out because there are apparently like there's a cut of that film where she defeated Thanos, and that would have been like the anticlimax to ruin the MCU. That would have probably made Endgame, turn out like The Rise of Skywalker did in terms of box office. But yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, hey, I'm just gonna go down here. Affiliations, and for Captain Marvel, Sparrows, U.S. Air Force Systems Command, Project Pegasus, Star Force, and Avengers. All of these are formerly, even though the Avengers is technically still together, but we don't know who's in it.
Yeah, because, you know, we lost our two biggest players. There's Captain America and Iron Man. And
Thor is up in the air because we don't know if Chris Hemsworth is actually going to come back.
Well, he's definitely not going to come back. I don't think so, because he said he's like dealing with onset Alzheimer's or something.
Early on, he's at high risk for early onset Alzheimer's. Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's a shame too, man. That guy that young.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And to think, by the way, Gizmo, this Saturday, Alex and I are going to be doing Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Alex, would you mind?
What about Maleficent?
Maleficent.
Yeah.
What about her?
We're watching.
Starring Angelina Jolie.
Look.
We're gonna be.
I remember when
movie.
I remember when I first found out about that film, when I had to look up about that because I wasn't entirely sure if it was related to anything else, and I found out that it was Sleeping Beauty, and I was like, oh, why didn't you just say?
The villain that was clearly the villain into a good guy.
Secretly, Hitler was right all along. That's
right,
what you're doing, Disney.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing, Disney?
They realize.
That's
Doesn't anybody
basically-
remember that this is the same?
Although, you know, that is
villain
basically the ending of BioShock Infinite.
Doesn't anybody remember that this was basically the same villain that decided to put a curse on the king and queen's daughter just because she wasn't invited to a party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like.
Oh,
why
and
do you
is
want me
also
to
one of the
talk
most
about
evil characters in all of Kingdom Hearts. Did anybody forget that detail?
What?
That Maleficent was one of the most evil characters in all of Kingdom Hearts?
That's a detail? No, that was a big part of the fucking game.
Yeah, exactly! That's my point. Like, more people know her from Kingdom Hearts than they do Sleeping Beauty, but even they'd be able to tell you, yeah, this bitch is evil.
Look at her.
Her name
Look
means
at her.
evil! Yeah, her name literally means evil.
Yeah, you know what? Let's make
Mistress of all evil, literally.
You know what? Let's make
In
a
the sequel,
video game
called
of
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which should have been the title of the first movie.
Let's make a spin-off of Street.
While we're at it.
Let's make a spin-off of Street Fighter.
That guy. You know,
Let's make.
let's make him like.
Okay. Oh, no. Okay, so, there is actually a very funny parody musical about that, Mason.
Oh, Twisted. Oh, okay. I remember.
Yeah, that's a good one. But that's like they completely like recontextualize things, and it's full of jokes, and it's really fucking funny.
I love it, man.
Hey, you know what? Let's make a beat-em-up side game of Street Fighter. You know who the main character is going to be? Oh, it's going to be Akuma. Villain? No, he's the main hero.
You know, they used to do that with movies back in the day, where they'd have like one actor come back, and sometimes the actor who came back played a villain in the previous film. And it's like, don't worry about it, Ninja 2. We're just gonna bring back the guy who played the main villain, and he's gonna be the hero this time around. That's fine. I love that skit. That's a Mad TV skit, by the way. Hey, go check out Mad TV, Steven Seagal.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal is thin-skinned. He cried out of fucking elementary school.
Yeah. No.
Did you remember that?
In reality, Steven Seagal is just as thin-skinned as his South Park counterpart is. The man once pooped himself, both because he challenged Judo Gene LaBelle to a match and said, "Oh, you can't choke me," and You know, I am the king of not being choked, and I will still say, hey, there are people who can choke me. Like it's not a matter of technique. My neck is very short.
So, Alex, currently in my game, the gym that I am trying to take on is the gym that ended a
Yeah, take a
number
piss.
of
I'll be right
Nuzlocke
back.
runs.
All right.
In case you're wondering, Fortree City Gym houses a gym leader who uses a dragon flying type whose moveset has Dragon Dance, which raises the attack and speed of Pokemon. And note that I say physical attack, not special attack. And part of its moveset is Earthquake. And then there's Aerial Ace, which never misses. So, in other words, this bitch is difficult. Winona. She's the Fortree City gym leader.
I remember now.
Oh yeah, today was National Hamburger Day, and Wendy's was having hamburgers, junior bacon cheeseburgers for a penny. I don't eat that kind of stuff, so I didn't have that.
Yeah, and
No, but it's free food.
and now that
And
you mentioned
McDonald's was having $1, and
you mentioned that,
Burger King
Alex,
was having
and
50 cents.
you mentioned and that whole shindig, and then I'm reminded of the fact that in the first Iron Man movie, Tony went to Burger King looking for an American cheeseburger before he had a press conference.
Yeah, you know,
And
that's the kind of thing you'd probably want after being held captive, of like that. Granted, you'd probably, in reality, you probably need to have like you know, IV and liquid diets and stuff because you'd be starved.
But the thing is like, part of or why that was in the film was due to the fact that Tony's actor, Robert Downey Jr., kind of thanks Burger King for helping him get off of various addictions.
Yeah.
Like heroin, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So it would be kind of shameful if RDJ didn't, you know, pay any thanks to UBK.
Yep. Tenti Tech says Winona Ryder. I don't know what that was in response to, but sure.
I think it's in response to who I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm in the Fortree City gym, and which is a flying type gym, and so that's fun. You know, like the first gym in your game, Alex.
Okay.
Because Generation 3's gyms M types goes as follows: rock, fighting, electric, fire, normal, flying, psychic, and water.
I'm back.
Hey, Gizmo.
Welcome back.
Oh, some news I think we should all know. Mortal Kombat 1 is a day away from being officially released, while everybody else has been enjoying the beta. And it's being released for PS5, Xbox Series X consoles, as well as Nintendo
I
Switch.
think Fran already has the game.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the biggest mistake. It was on Switch.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest mistake was making the game in the first place. But,
I get what you're
but
saying,
we'll go
but
ahead.
here's the thing.
We'll go ahead
here's
and
the-
talk about this.
The Switch has... There's footage out there of the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1, and it's ghastly. It's worse than the footage of Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch. And that's coming from someone who has Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch. It looks nowhere close to as bad as it does... as bad as Mortal Kombat 11 does on Switch. It's
know what I'll say
worse.
I'll say here. Tenti Tech says, which Pokemon game is that? I played GBA Pokemon, but never played it before that. This is Crystal here.
Yeah, that Crystal is the third game of Pokemon Generation 2. Oh, and
Yep.
that's what
and
Alex is
I'm
playing.
gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and take a brief detour here and give us a little update about the situation with Ben's dog Tommy, and I'm gonna post the GoFundMe link in the chat here. So earlier last week, we launched a GoFundMe to help Ben and his family pay for the medical care for their dog Tommy, and unfortunately, his health has taken a sharp decline in the last couple of days. He's not doing too good.
He
The tests
deteriorated rapidly.
Yeah, he's deteriorating rapidly. The tests should be coming back soon-ish, but they don't know if he's going to make it to the time that they do the tests, and I think they're looking at having to have him put down either tomorrow or the next day if things don't get real better real quick. And that's gonna...
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had to deal with that reality, as you are painfully aware, Alex. Not my favorite, not the phone call I wanted to make, but it was one that I had to.
Yeah, I remember my dog was very similar. Ralphie, he seemed like he was doing okay, and then over the next couple of days, he was an old dog, but he seemed like he was doing a little bit better, and it just went downhill. And my dad came downstairs after I'd left for work one morning, and Ralphie wasn't moving anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're looking at have him put down either tomorrow or the next day, and that's gonna run them some money. So I put the GoFundMe once again in the chat. I meant to talk about this earlier, but we got caught up talking about some other stuff. I was gonna do it
that's fine.
every hour, but yeah. So we're in slightly less
depressing.
Slightly less depressing news. Might be a little bit infuriating at this point. Apparently, Justin Roiland has been scrubbed. Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon have both been scrubbed from the creator credits for Rick and Morty.
Why?
Because of course.
Because of the allegations.
I mean,
it's
the allegations against Justin Roiland are probably why, but like the re-releases of Lord of the Rings. So the re-releases of Lord of the Rings don't scrub the producer credits for Harvey Weinstein.
No, they do not.
It's not like they're paying him anymore.
So,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is that even though Harvey Weinstein is a
copies of-
scumbag by every means, he still was as a part of those movies.
Yeah,
right.
Granted, he wasn't necessarily the best part of the production of those
he
films.
was not.
Yeah,
But he had a hand in bringing them to the screen.
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's, you kind of need to properly credit the people who make this stuff.
Yes.
Even if Justin Roiland had actually been convicted and sent to jail for the stuff that he was arrested for, or they should still be putting his name on there, or because he's the one who created it. And if that's an issue, or that's just gonna have to be your shame to bear. Or if you're gonna continue through the show after firing him. If you're gonna remove his creator credit, just cancel the goddamn show at this point.
Yeah, at this point you should just cancel the show and wait until the guy actually comes back and says, "Hey, I'm innocent now. Hey, can we just continue my show?"
Yeah, well,
Justin did say he was innocent now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He was found innocent. He wasn't. It's not that he was found innocent by a jury. It's that the grand jury didn't have enough to actually get a. No, sorry, it wasn't a grand jury. The fucking prosecutor dropped the charges because they basically didn't have a case. I don't know how it managed to get as far as it did. if they didn't have a case, because like the prosecutor like looked at the evidence they had and said that, you know, oh, we're not gonna be able to take this past a hearing. This is gonna blow up in our faces, and the fact that it even got as far as an arrest is kind of absurd at this point. I mean, much less getting as far as it has otherwise. But then again, and like, you know, Hollywood has that whole you know, Me Too thing, even if the fucking and people don't exist. Like, like, you know, speaking of which, we can talk about the Russell Brand situation. And so, well, Russell Brand, who was at one point a Hollywood actor.
What's going on?
Okay, so Russell Brand was a Hollywood actor and comedian, and then he stopped acting in Hollywood and started hosting a radio show. Then he started hosting a news show on the internet. And you know, for good or for depending on there's some conspiracy theory stuff on there, but for the most part, from what I've listened to of the Trues / whatever else his shows are called, like, it seems to be like, you know, fairly standard stuff. It's like there's some mild conspiracy theory nonsense sprinkled in amongst you know, there's some societal issues and entertainment issues that we should probably solve, and you know, depending on what your perspective is, you know, you might disagree with him, you might not, but a lot of people on both the left and the right seem to think that he's got a fairly good head on his shoulders, because like he has some, he's kind of middling in terms of, not like moderate, but like he has some opinions that are like from, you know, from here and from there, or like you can't really pin him down politically. Should I delete a move to make room for outrage on my dragon thing?
Dragon Rage?
I'm deleting Dragon Rage to make room for another move?
Yeah, because
okay.
Dragon Rage is only scripted to do 40 damage every time.
Okay. Tenti Tech says, how is this game compared to Fire Red? That's the game I always go back to. So this game, being on the Game Boy Color, is not as advanced as Fire Red. Fire Red is based on the Gen 3 engine.
Yes,
and this
the
is
one that I'm playing on is the Gen 3 engine. And the one that Alex is playing on is the Generation 2 engine, which is a more colorful version of the Generation 1 engine.
Yeah. But, like, one of Russell Brand's hallmarks is that he's kind of he'll talk to just about anybody and consider their position, and these days, and he was one of those guys who bragged about how much sex he used to have back in the day, and it's like, okay, you know, whatever, man, and you know, people are now saying, and these accusations are being I'm getting echoed off of somebody. So the accusations that are being made are basically are almost entirely anonymous. Like, nobody knows who these people are. And if we recall, the last time something like this happened, and where there was a Jane Doe accuser who went after a fairly prominent male celebrity, who had a history of, you know, being somewhat promiscuous and being, you know, a counterculture icon. That was Marilyn Manson, and Marilyn Manson was innocent. So,
not according,
you know,
to
we'll
Clone
just.
High. Clone High thinks he's guilty for some reason.
Well, what do you expect? They're talking about
Canceled corner.
Yeah, what do you expect from a TV show that has gone from Gandhi drinking oil out of a fucking muffler to being canceled if you say, you know, fucking schizo, or even like, or they're talking about mansplaining.
Yeah, I hate how Clone High went from this beloved, obscure little cartoon that the people who knew about liked and the people who didn't know about were intrigued by, to being revived into a shell of its former self. Like, hey, this is the kind of thing that I'm always really afraid of whenever there's a new interpretation, quote-unquote, of a revival series. Like, this is what I'm afraid King of the Hill is going to turn into if they keep going to.
Yeah, Alex,
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
Young Justice.
Remember, Young Justice, Season 2 was terrible, Season 3 was worse, and then Season 4 was the epitome of hot fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Young Justice, the talking version.
Gizmo, we are terribly, terribly sorry about that last session we invited you for, or on that, because we thought, we were like, oh, we didn't know that you were talking about Death Battle. That was our B.
Yeah. The key jangling. The fucking key jangling thing that happened in the very last episode of Young Justice. It's like Kara Zor-El is a member of Darkseid's Legion for some reason. Okay, then.
At least Teen Titans did all that shit better.
Yeah, but...
Teen Titans, for one thing, Teen Titans was a good show. For another thing, Teen Titans had like shit to do, you know?
Yeah, but
there were things happening.
Yeah, but here's another thing, Alex, to consider, is that unfortunately Teen Titans had the stigma of the network screwing them over even when they were successful. Because Teen Titans had by this point won on at least 2 Emmy Awards, and was one of the most successful shows on Cartoon Network. But after season 5 ended, even though they were promised like another season, the thing ended on a cliffhanger, and it was just, there was nothing after that. I mean, people could say, oh, Trouble in Tokyo, blah, 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 but the thing is that Trouble in Tokyo
was good, but Trouble in Tokyo didn't solve that ending.
No,
Yeah,
it
it was
didn't.
a movie. It wasn't a movie that bridged off into another season.
No, it was just it might as well have been one of the comedic episodes of the show, where essentially nothing of importance happened, but it was one of those really entertaining parts of the series. I mean, sure, comedic episodes were what kind of introduced the whole, Raven's actually a half-demon thing, or it introduced Wheaton and all that. But the thing is that it doesn't really have much connecting tissue other than those elements I mentioned.
Well, here's the thing. Young Justice forgot that it was supposed to be a superhero show, and even though Teen Titans were making changes and doing things differently, and inventing new things, they never forgot that it was supposed to be a superhero action show.
Yeah.
And the Teen Titans survived because of that. And Young Justice forgot that it was a superhero action show, and completely dropped the ball. Like, they should have been... There's all kinds of stuff that they should have been, they could have done, and that would have made it interesting to watch, but they wanted to try and be subversive. It's just that the stuff that they did to be subversive have also happened and to make it incredibly easy to make, we're not gonna have, this is epitomized by like, them having silent space battles, because, like, that was okay, that was interesting when Firefly did it, but nowadays it's basically just used so that we can cut down on the amount of stuff we have to pay our Foley artists to do, Like, we can save so much money by not having to do sound design on all this shit,
And the thing is that even though it is somewhat realistic that there wouldn't really be sound in space, the thing is that,
it immediately takes me out of the fucking visual.
Exactly. It takes you out of the experience.
You can't tell necessarily what's going on or how effective if certain things are, or by just by the visuals of some of these things. Because it looks like, okay, it looks a certain way, but I want to see, like, inside the ship, I want to see the crew of the Enterprise shaking around when the fucking photon torpedo hits, you know? Oh, that kind of
Also,
thing.
realistic doesn't really mean good.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
mean-
like, I
Yeah,
think
we'll
there's
talk
a
about-
Simpsons.
I mean, look at the
I think
game.
there was a Simpsons comic that I found where it tried to play with that idea, where it was like a nerd was in charge of making some sort of, a parody of like their version of Star Wars. And so, like, for example, there's a firefight, and the people in the theater was like, "Why can't I hear anything? What happened to the sound effects?" And they're like, and the nerd's sitting there like, "They're idiots. You know there's no sound in space, and that's so scientifically inaccurate." Then they go to warp speed, and it's like, "Hey, why aren't they there already? Oh my God, why couldn't you just go to warp speed?" He was like, "Oh, you're idiots. That wouldn't happen in real life. If they did, they'd make a black hole."
I mean,
that's what it's. That's
oh,
the kind of
there's
shit that.
we don't know that it can't happen in real life. We just know that we can't do it right now.
No, but that's the
Like,
thing. And here's the
that's
thing,
the
though.
thing
If you
we
try
always
to make
talk
it
about whenever it comes to science fiction. We don't
if you try
know
to
if
make
we can't do
sci-fi
that. We just
realistic,
know
then
we
it's
can't
not going
do
to
it
be as
now.
fun.
Alex,
Yes.
you want to know something funny? Honey, so
It's just,
one thing I kind of imagine and Wally it would totally do after he gets his powers and whatnot, he'd be like, so now that I realize I have superhuman speed, that means based on the Flash, I could probably travel way faster than the speed of light. And they're like, wait, speed of light? Well, yeah, that's kind of how fast he goes. But then he's like, okay, how do you know? Oh, that's okay. Hey, let's do something stupid, okay? Ask me how the Queen of England is. Okay, how's the Queen of England? She's doing
Dead.
all right. No, he's
How's
just
the
like,
Queen of England? Still dead.
no, not that. That wasn't the joke I was going for. Or
Yeah,
like, this
no,
would be,
that
this would be
was
like,
that was back when the Queen was alive.
yeah, and that was a joke.
Allegedly.
That was a joke from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Like, Brian comes back with the John Bull outfit. Oh, and he's like, she's fine. Seriously, that was actually a good conveyance of superhuman speed in a show. In one of the in the episode that had, like, 3 short episodes in one. Because for
Family
context...
Guy could be really good at some points.
Because for context's sake, in regards to that episode, Peter and the gang end up getting hit with a truck full of radioactive ooze and whatnot, and
Yeah.
Peter gains the ability to shapeshift into not a specific type of things, just literally anything. Name it, and he will turn into it. He will literally turn into separate body parts of a human being. And even when in his animal forms, he can still talk. So, basically, Peter had the most busted form of shape-shifting imaginable. Then there's Lois Griffith, who gained superhuman strength. Stewie gained in telepathic and telekinetic powers. And Brian has superhuman speed, and Meg has the ability to grow her fingernails to absurd lengths. And Chris can just... and Chris could make things spontaneously combust.
Yeah, like Shendu.
So, yeah, this the Russell Brand thing just kind of reminds me of how earlier this year
This is how
the lead singer of Rammstein, Till Lindemann, was accused of a bunch of sexual improprieties. And Der Spiegel once actually published reports from an anonymous woman who may or may not exist, who claimed she was in a sexual relationship with Lindemann when she was 15. And this happened, all this shit happened in between June and August. And then in August, German prosecutors dropped the case saying that the investigations didn't provide any evidence and that they were unable to substantiate allegations as law enforcement agencies had not received direct testimony from the accusers. Long story short, the story was bullshit, and they didn't, like, all of this was fucking dumb. And Rammstein had to drop one of their funniest songs from their sets because of bullshit from people who may or may not exist, and who definitely weren't willing to put their balls to the wall, put their money where their mouth was about the accusations they were making. And this is gonna turn out how, you know, I'm gonna say about this what I usually say about everything. And this is, you know, until there's like actual evidence coming out more than just people saying shit. We're gonna say, hey, he's probably innocent. This is probably nonsense because it always turns out to be.
It's called innocent until proven guilty, people.
Yeah, like
you gotta learn it by now.
Yeah, the only reason I had anything different to say about Justin Roiland was because, one, there was a police arrest, which you never see happen in these kinds of things. Well, not hardly, anyways.
Same with Ezra Miller.
Yeah. Well, Ezra Miller, we actually have video footage of him.
Yeah, we have video
shit.
footage
Actually
of
assaulting someone.
Yes, we actually have all this, and there are people standing with him.
And
as though he were
the video
innocent.
of the first. Yeah, the video of the first thing was like, that was the gentlest choke slam I'd ever seen, but there was other stuff that happened later, or there's like people saying shit, that has more credibility than just saying shit. There were charges filed for assault against him and stuff like that, and like, the fucking Ezra Miller versus Hawaii thing is fairly well documented. You can go check that out. Like, I don't know what necessarily to say about the other stuff that he allegedly did, and like how he allegedly had some kind of cult that he was leading thing, but you know,
I wouldn't put it past him if he did.
Yeah, at this point, like the Flash waged a one-man war on the state of Hawaii. Yeah, there's no telling what happened. The only reason I said anything different about Justin Roiland was because there was an arrest and because he's a male feminist. Male feminists never get any credibility in my eyes because I see them like there's a Stone Toss comic about how male feminists are basically just a matter of camouflage, you know. And don't get on my ass for citing Stone Toss, so we can just go back and cite and look at, you know, the list of male feminists and people who are anti-Gamergate and whatnot, and who got done for sexual assault. Look at Mombot. Look at oh yeah, Stone Toss.
Hell, Movie Bob is still, you know, a thing, and it's only a matter of time before
Movie Bob's an idiot, though.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot who cooks with Mountain Dew.
Well, no, I can't really put that past them because they're having stupider recipes.
And no, I'm not talking
I'm not gonna put them. I'm not gonna put it past them doing the Mountain Dew thing because they're actually. If you back then, a couple of years ago, there actually was a turkey recipe for you to use Mountain Dew for some reason.
Well, I remember
also, I'm not gonna put it past them because there have been stupider recipes. There have been people who tried to dry age beef with peanut butter, Nutella, and people trying to dry age beef with like macaroni and cheese dust.
Some stuff.
Yeah,
there's some stuff where you find out about like cooking hacks that actually work out really well. And it's incredibly surprising that they manage to actually work out the way they do. Not every cooking hack is stupid, but the thing is like it's Movie Bob. Like the man created, like there's a meme about him being a diabetes themed version of Magneto. Oh, you know.
I see that. I can see that.
Yeah, he's called Diabeto. Go look him up.
Gizmo, remember that song?
What?
The thong song parody that Asa did roasting Movie Bob?
Yes.
And recently, Movie Bob decided to simp for Megan Fox as Nitara.
Megan,
Fucking-
you know, Movie Bob needs to be kept away from women
Yeah.
for a number of reasons. One of which
All
being
women.
Lindsay
that he,
Ellis.
yeah, one of which being Lindsay Ellis. This is because as much as I don't like Lindsay Ellis, I wouldn't wish Movie Bob on anybody,
No.
No.
except maybe Adolf Hitler. Or
Or maybe
if
in the
Movie
USFP
Bob
is good.
decided that he liked Adolf Hitler, oh, NyQuil chicken. Ugh. Nope. Nope, that's making me vomit.
That can actually kill you.
Yeah, that will fucking kill you. Yeah.
Cat showcased me saw a cook's
Miss me.
actual reaction, actual response to trying to recreate TikTok recipes.
Yeah. Miss me
And-
with that lean chicken.
And one of those almost made me physically ill.
The Bob
Dude, there
song.
actually have been
I
people
love
who
it.
try to legitimately retry TikTok recipes. Some of them legitimately I can't see, being good or at least decent. But others I just don't get like why
Yeah.
they're getting
Well,
so
they're-
much praise.
You can go check. I can't remember what her name is. Ann Reardon from How to Cook That. And go check out Ann Reardon and from How to Cook That's videos about YouTube Shorts and TikTok videos of cooking, because she tests things out.
Oh yeah,
and
I think that was the person in that cat.
yeah,
showed
she's
us.
Australian, and yeah, she tests out TikTok recipes using 5-minute crafts and things like that,
What the?
and sees what actually works and what doesn't. It's basically like Mythbusters for internet cooking hacks. It's great.
Yeah, it is actually kind of funny. It's just, it made me a little uncomfortable on one of them, and I'm just like, oh god, no, I don't want to be here anymore. Or please turn it off. We get it. These recipes suck.
Yeah, some things I see. Yeah, some things I see, I'm just like, hey, I don't want to think about that. What song were you singing? I was thinking about something else.
Kevin said I don't want to be, and that made me start singing that one song. I don't want to be anything. I forgot the words. Now
I'm like on the tip of maybe knowing what those words are, and I don't remember.
hold on. I think
On a different note, though, Carlos Santana had a new album out a couple of years ago.
I don't want to be. That's
Huh.
the song.
So on a related note to music, Carlos Santana had a new album out a couple of years ago. Well, and it had some of the worst printing I'd ever seen on a mainstream release. Like Carlos Santana is probably one of the most famous guitarists in the world. Well, especially in the mainstream. Santana,
What?
Carlos Santana does not sing on his albums that I'm aware of, or at least not on his hit songs.
Because I thought that was Santana.
If it was Santana, it would have been somebody from his band singing in that.
Yeah, as far as I know,
might
Santana
have been a
doesn't
guest
sing at all.
vocalist. Because
And weirdly enough, the Pillar Man, the first Pillar Man that Joseph fights in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 2 is named after Santana.
A lot of stuff in JoJo is named after rock music.
No, I know that.
Oh, yeah. No,
That's
yeah.
the whole gimmick of JoJo. Oh, and that's kind of
is
why
there anybody named after Yngwie Malmsteen?
You would think so.
I don't know.
There ought to be somebody named after him and Jeff Scott Soto.
What about Kiss? Guys from Kiss?
There's a stand named Kiss.
What do they change the name to? Smooch?
I don't know, actually. I'd have to look that up.
Soundboard. What is this?
Please don't touch that.
Bowls.
Not-
We've already had enough soundboard spam for one day.
Yeah. Okay. We'll save the soundboard spamming for when we do the Waifu Wars. Which, by the way, that'll be next Friday.
Yes.
I know I'm not done with the stream yet, but I do really enjoy talking about but I really do enjoy that talking about the stuff I can talk about. Oh, cause
Yes.
it's like...
Oh yeah. I had something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah. I bought a kit to replace a battery in a smartwatch that I had, and they included some tools to open the smartwatch, and both of them broke.
Ouch.
They were made out of plastic. Yeah. I was still able to get the watch open, but that was like with my own shit, not the stuff they gave me. And then the battery wouldn't fit in, and so that was fucking great.
Now, Alex...
I wouldn't have even cared about the tools if the battery actually worked.
Oh yeah.
Now, Alex, how do you feel about... So I understand you're probably not going to be going back to Pokemon on anytime soon, but if you were to revisit this series anytime soon, or at some point, I mean, which game would you start? Which game would you want to go to? Oh, next?
Thinking maybe Yellow.
That's fair. Because I wasn't going to push you to play Emerald unless you felt you were ready. Because there are parts of this game that can be a bit difficult. Also, I totally understand. I mean, especially after seeing you play Crystal and all that. I'm not saying you were bad, I'm just saying, like...
I just...
You're better.
I'm okay with long games, but this is like a giant time sink of repetitive exercises. And I do like to try and keep repetitive exercises to a minimum in that regard, because,
right.
I don't know, I just don't find a lot of grinding fun.
That's, like I said, that's fair. And the thing is that, at the very least, next week when I do XD Gale's Darkness, that'll be the last time I go back to that game, because I can't... There's nothing really left to do there. I've already caught all the Shadow Pokemon and...
How do I get to Mount Silver from here?
Mount Silver, where are you right now?
I'm at, I'm next to Victory Road.
You're next to Victory Road.
Yes.
Okay, so... Oh... Are you right at the entrance of Victory Road?
Yes.
Okay, so you go left.
Okay, so I go left through that area I was grinding in, okay.
Yes, you go left, and there's a cave past the Pokemon Center. Or that's there.
Oh, there's a Pokemon Center there, so I don't have to keep going back.
Told ya.
Okay.
Never question the person who knows the game very well and has recently beaten a variant of it.
I'm near Silver Cave.
Yeah, and Silver Cave, unlike in my version, which focused heavily on rock climb as the gimmick, you gotta use like Flash, Surf, Waterfall, and whatnot to navigate through that. It's not a very long climb up the mountain. It's actually fairly quick. Again, once you get up there, then you
I have 960 in-game hours.
Alright, yo, I am gone for the night. Have a good
Alright.
night, yo.
See you later, man.
See ya.
Go to bed.
Breaking news: there's now Pokemon meals at McDonald's.
Yes, I saw that.
Looks like they'll be including yeah, that looks like they'll be including Pokemon cards as well as booster packs.
Oh, again, I wonder if people are gonna be fighting over that.
Oh, I swear to God, man, if there are, I'm gonna fight them just to shut the fuck up so I can get my nuggets. You're fighting for your card? No, I'm just fighting so I could shut them the fuck up so I can get my goddamn Big Mac. Holy shit.
Is it going to be better or worse than fighting off people who want the Szechuan sauce?
I'd rather fight them too. Huh. So far, there have been 108 TV shows canceled or ending in 2023.
Probably because of the SAG-AFTRA strike
Let's
and
see
the
here.
writers' strike.
The first one is 1899, canceled after one season.
I didn't even know that existed.
I don't even know what that is. Inside Job on Netflix came out October 22nd, 2021, canceled after one season.
No.
You know what people have been
Inside Job. I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
Think of it like Rick and Morty, except it's not aliens; it's conspiracy theories
Okay.
man.
and the Illuminati.
Okay.
Uncoupled from Netflix, premiered on July 29th, 2022, canceled after one season. Dead End,
I've
Paranormal.
never heard of that.
Yeah, I haven't either, but it does have that same guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Neil Patrick Harris.
That guy, yeah.
How did I guess that?
Dead End, Paranormal Park, premiered on June 16th, 2022, canceled after 2 seasons. Yeah, when it was revealed that there was someone who got AIDS and lied about it and gave it to someone else without telling them, I think that's what broke the camel's back. Don't ask me how. Vampire Academy on Peacock, September
What do they
15th.
teach Flash to?
September 15th, 2022, canceled after one season. A lot of these shows are fucking shows that.
I taught it to Peter.
Yeah, there's a lot of these shows are like no names. One of Us is Lying on Peacock, Astrid and Lily Save the World on Sci-Fi, 61st Street on AMC, Pantheon on AMC Plus, The Mosquito Coast on Apple TV, Gossip Girl on HBO Max, Snowpiercer on TNT. That's still a thing?
Snowpiercer. That's kind of a shame, but Gossip Girl had another one.
Yeah, apparently.
That show was already terrible. Why did it need another series?
Because woke.
Of course.
Rat in the Kitchen, Mayans MC, Outlander, Titans. Oh, actually, no, I'm pretty
Outlander?
glad
How the fuck is Outlander still going? That show was weird.
it ended after
The show-
5 seasons.
It's only been going for 5. Hang on, when did Outlander
And
come?
after 5 seasons, I mean. It's been going on since 2018.
Huh. No, 2014.
No, it says right here 2018. September 4th,
I
2018.
see. Outlander.
Outlander on Stars.
Yeah, Outlander on Stars. Or since August 2014. First season August 20. It's had 6 seasons, and it's gonna have another.
Huh. This is only like 4 days old. How is that so outdated? Okay, let's see.
Production for season 7 began in April of 2022, when filming began in the 22nd. Music composed by Bear McCreary. What the fuck?
Let's see here. Titans on HBO Max, canceled after 4 seasons.
That's not because of the writer's strike. It's just because that show was shit.
Yeah. Okay, this could have been
I
a
didn't
good
hear it
show.
was getting better as time went on. Not that anybody cared.
Doom Patrol got canceled after 4 seasons, which is a shame
That
because that was a
sucked.
good
That
one.
show was good.
NCIS Los Angeles ending after 14 seasons.
Oh, that sucks. That show was great.
That was still going on?
I mean, I'm surprised it's still going, but I'm like, damn, NCIS LA was a good show.
Jay Leno's
Then again-
Garage ending after 7 seasons. Well, canceled after 7 seasons.
Then again, I did mostly just like it for the characters after a point. I wasn't watching it for the plot.
Oh god, they made a TV show out of this. American Gigolo.
American Gigolo?
I would call it
Seriously?
Gigolo. Yep, it's canceled after a
I got
season.
attacked by a wild Ursaring.
Oh, well, here's one that's good. Cobra Kai, it's getting its last season. It's gonna get its last season, hopefully ending everything.
Well, here's hoping they can just wrap up Cobra Kai. Because Cobra Kai's good, but
I like
if
Cobra
it goes
Kai
on for two...
Well, you know, I'd rather have Cobra Kai than not.
Yeah, but like I kind of think that if it goes on for too long, it's gonna wind up being what I thought it was gonna be at first.
Yeah, it's ending after its sixth season, so it'll hopefully they're gonna tie everything up, and no loose ends are like gonna come up again. Like, hopefully they bring up the cartoon, which I really hope. Hopefully they don't bring up the next Karate Kid in any way.
You know, I've been wishing that they would bring her what's her name? Who is that?
I don't know, man. All I know is that she has the career of getting her ass beaten in every movie.
Hilary Swank.
There
Hilary
you go.
Swank. I've been hoping that they'd bring Hilary Swank back just for the joke, you know.
Yeah. What's the joke gonna be? Will the joke even be worth it at that point?
$1 million
it's like,
baby.
like,
She's been in a number of depressing things.
Yeah. Oh, right. You're Miyagi's other student that was after me, or something like that.
Here's how I think it's gonna be like. Who are you? Oh, I trained under Miyagi too. Yeah, right. So anyway, Lawrence. Yeah. Kindred canceled after one season. Don't know what the fuck that is. Let the right
Is
one
it
in.
based on Kinder Eggs?
I have no fucking idea. A lot of these shows just... Oh, Pennyworth, the origin of Batman's butler, canceled after 3 seasons. Why the fuck was that a show?
Yeah. How many discount Batman shows have there been? By the way, hey, Tenti Tech says people had a fit when Inside Job got canceled. I didn't know that it was a thing.
Reboot on Hulu got canceled after a season. Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, the reboot. It wasn't very good. It was a live-action CGI hybrid, and then they basically tried to make it discount Power Rangers, even though the original reboot was, you know...
Not that reboot, but sure. Mysterious Benedict Society on Disney Plus canceled after 5 seasons.
Wait,
Outside the Line. I don't know what the fuck
there was
that
a
is.
Mysterious Benedict Society
I don't know
show?
what the fuck that is.
That was a book series of, like, really good, goofy mystery novels.
I haven't heard of them. The Goldbergs, ending after 10 seasons. That's about time. Soulmates, Barry, League of... for fuck. Remember that movie, A League of Their Own?
Yeah.
They had a show, apparently.
Was that an Amazon show?
Prime Video, they're ending it after 2 seasons. Good, because why the fuck was that show to begin with?
Yeah, good question.
3 Pines, canceled. Willow, canceled. Good.
We already knew that Willow was canceled. Well, that wasn't a strike thing. That was just the fact that the show got terrible ratings.
Yeah. The
Like
L
what Disney
Word.
tried to say about it.
The L Word, Generation Q, canceled after 3 seasons. You should have just canceled it pre-production. You, ending after 5 seasons. Oh, funny thing. When someone tried to bring it up in a news conference, well, I mean like actual like news.
It was like a Who's On First thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fucking. It was not even funny. It was stupid for all the wrong. It was stupid for all the wrong and right reasons. Like, oh, I was watching you last night. Oh, you're watching me? No. The show's called You. Oh, it was called Me. Well, when I say me, she's saying her name. No, it's called You. It's called You. Oh, it's called Me? It's like, oh my fucking god, I want to choke this hoe with her own hair.
Okay, that's not how you do that.
She wasn't trying to be funny. She genuinely thought there was a TV show named after her. And the guy was trying to explain it as plain as day. It's You. It's called You. It wasn't a joke.
If it had been a joke, look, that's not how you do that joke. And if it hadn't been a joke, oh dear God, like.
Let's see. Big Shot was canceled. Fear the Walking Dead.
Be a big shot. Fear the Walking
Dead is gonna end after its 5th season. Firefly Lane canceled. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers got canceled. That's a shame too, because I actually like that one. Monarch canceled. The Resident canceled.
Monarch.
Zilly,
What is that?
The Resident. I don't fucking know. It's on Fox.
How is Monarch? How is Monarch spelled?
Monarch.
Alex, on
Canceled
my
after one season.
Alex, on my stream, is a racially insensitive stereotype?
Mr.
Oh, no.
Popo?
We've got to block it out.
No.
I know you're talking about Jinx, bro.
No, I'm talking about Ludicolo.
My asshole, that's an insensitive stereotype. They can bite my ass. Okay, Zoe canceled after 2 seasons. Good, because it's about TikToker being president, from what I can see from that fucking picture. From what I can see from that fucking picture. National Treasure, Edge of History, canceled after 1 season. Good, you left out Nick Cage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like how? What? Where's Nick Cage?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be making a sequel to National Treasure 2. They announced National Treasures 3, 4, and 5, and then didn't do anything.
Big Mouth is going to be canceled after its 8th season.
Thank fucking God.
I never saw the hype behind it, man. I never did. Human Resources, which is a spin-off of Big Mouth, is canceled after 2 seasons.
Thank fucking God.
Avenue 5
No more.
canceled after
No
2
more.
seasons. Blood and Treasure canceled. Judge Mathis canceled. The People's Court
Judge.
canceled after 38 seasons. Well, yeah.
You know, we need to kill more reality TV shows. Those fucking in courtroom shows are fucking awful.
The Red Table Talk canceled after 5 seasons. Southside canceled after 3 seasons. The Chair canceled after a season. 911 from Fox canceled after 6 seasons. Beginning
Yeah,
7.
those are some of the worst shows. That's like one of the worst fucking paramedic fire department shows in the history of anything ever.
It's Yellowstone canceled after 5 seasons. Call Me Cat canceled after 5 seasons. East New York canceled after 1. SWAT canceled after. It's gonna end after the 7th season. Not canceled.
Hang on. So I'm having to look something up here. So
They tried rebooting.
Okay, so now. Okay, so Yellowstone is not canceled. Filming has been put on indefinite hold for the moment, because of the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They tried making a TV show based off the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie True Lies. That got canceled after 1 season.
What the fuck? Why does that exist?
It just
Why do any of
does,
these-
Alex.
Walker Independence canceled after 1 season. Kung Fu canceled after 3 seasons.
Good. That fucking reboot shit was fucking awful.
That was
Hang on. Created by Matt Nix. Huh. So, True Lies. I don't know if it's a reboot or a sequel to the original Kung Fu show.
It's supposed to be. True Lies is supposed to be a reboot
No,
TV show.
I'm not talking about the True Lies show. I'm talking about Kung Fu.
Oh, Kung Fu. Yeah, that's now a reboot too. That's based off of their own TV show back in the day.
Yeah, with David Carradine. Yeah, I remember that. And that was a good show. Oh, I watched that all the time when I was a kid. But and fun fact, was also the basis for the Steven Seagal Mad TV skit,
Ninjas.
where David Carradine played the mentor character.
The Winchesters canceled after 1 season.
You know, that's kind of unfortunate because that show wasn't that bad, but nobody cared about it. So
Yeah, I mean, Lockwood and Company canceled after 1 season. Alaska Daily canceled after 1 season. Big Sky canceled after 3 seasons. Huh. Okay. The Company You Keep canceled after 1 season. Archer, it's ending the series after its 14th season is finished.
Oh, by
Oh,
the
hey,
way, And by the way, Alex, currently in my game, I am at the obligatory grave site for Pokemon.
Yeah. Even though Pokemon allegedly never actually die.
I'm actually a little sad that Archer's
On
ending
screen, of
is.
course.
I'm actually kind of sad that Archer's ending. I mean, granted, it's got 14 seasons, it's stayed long enough, but there's still some adventures in there they could do.
Like, or such
yeah.
as...
Well, it's a
see,
spy show. You can do just about anything with it.
going back to Area 51, have an official time travel story, going into Area 52, finding out that a lot of the conspiracy theories were real, finding out that a lot of conspiracy theories that are real are manipulated by another spy agency, have another spy agency come up and become rivals. You know, anything could happen in Archer.
And meanwhile...
Physical, Apple TV, canceled after 3 seasons. Tuning Out the News, Comedy Central, canceled after 3 seasons. Hell of a Week with Charlemagne the God, canceled after 2 seasons. I love that for you. I love that for you, canceled after 1 season. Perry Mason, canceled after 2 seasons. Grant Crew,
Fucking Perry Mason reboot? What?
Yeah. Grant Crew, canceled after 2 seasons. Oh, this one is very, very sad. Young Rock, canceled after 3 seasons. Not even ending, just canceled.
Young Rock is a funny show.
It really is. It's a good show.
Yeah, surprisingly. Maybe, yeah.
I don't think anybody's gonna miss this one. Gotham Knights, canceled after 1 season. The fact,
no.
dude, when you
Canceled after
started,
0.
dude, the moment you had a
HBO.
police. Oh, it was on CW.
No, I'm talking about the Perry Mason show. So the Perry Mason show was on the HBO. It had 2 seasons. It got canceled in June. Why did you make it a period piece? It's a show about lawyers.
Yeah.
Billions, canceled after 7 seasons.
It was a contemporary series when it was made originally. You could have done what the previous versions did and made it a contemporary show as well.
Oh god, why was this a thing? High School Musical, the series.
The series, yeah. I
Ending
remember
after
that.
no. Like I didn't stutter. That's the legitimate title.
No,
High School Musical,
I know.
the musical, the series.
I've heard of it. I believe you.
Ending after 4 seasons. You know what? That kind of fits considering there's like 4 years of high school, so that kind of fits.
Yeah.
American Auto, canceled after 2 seasons. The Game, canceled after 2 seasons. Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, canceled after 1 season. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies also has one of the worst special effects failures in the history of anything ever. Or you can, I believe it's in like the second to last episode, and one of the actors quit the show, and he wasn't gonna return. He was like, fuck you, I'm not coming back. And they use a body double for most of it. For for most of like his last shots. Except for one shot where they just pasted a still frame PNG of his face onto a different person's body and motion tracked it, and it looks awful.
Dude, that sounds like something they did in Game of Death too.
Yeah, they literally did that in Game of Death too.
God.
And, like, they had a fucking printout of Bruce Lee's face taped to a mirror so that the body double would
fit. Yeah,
would not immediately be twigged as being not Bruce Lee. You know,
that was in no way convincing. Queen of the Universe, canceled after 2 seasons. Gee, I wonder why.
What the fuck even was that?
It's about drag queens and whatever the fuck else they wanted to. Dude, the fact that drag queens are getting so much shit right now from
we already
both sides.
We already had RuPaul's Drag Race. Did we really need more?
Nobody wants more, that's the thing. Star Trek Prodigy, canceled after 1 season.
Oh, that kind of sucks. Prodigy was alright.
Yeah. A Black Lady sketch show, canceled after 4 seasons. You should have canceled it.
Literally what it was called.
Yeah, it was literally what it was called. Oh, what the fuck?
They didn't call the Bernie Mac show Black Comedy Family Show. No, they called it the Bernie Mac Show. Like we didn't. It wasn't.
Listen to me, America. I remember watching that show.
Oh, hi, me.
Los Espookies canceled after 2 seasons. What the fuck does that even?
What the fuck is that?
I'm guessing it's Hispanics trying to be goth. I have no idea. Oh, what the fuck is this? Reservation Dogs ending after 2 seasons.
That sounds like it's trying to capitalize on Reservoir
Dogs. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I remember this. It was supposed to be.
Trader Red wants to battle.
From what I can remember, it was supposed to revolve around these Native American characters, and this is where the William Knife Man meme came from. Sex Education canceled after 3 seasons. Snowflake Mountain canceled after 1 season. Should have been canceled after the first episode. The Watchful Eye canceled after 1 season. Single drunk female canceled after 2 seasons. Hard Sell canceled after 1 season. In Love All Over Again canceled after 1 season. Sky High the series canceled after 1 season. No, not the one you're thinking of.
Damn it.
Welcome to
I was gonna say, it was like if that's what I'm thinking of how did I not know that there was a Sky High show? Oh, and second, why the fuck did it get canceled? But if it's not that, yeah.
Yeah, I would have watched it day 1 if there was a Sky High series
Bruce
based
Campbell
off the
for
movie.
the win.
Welcome to Eden canceled after 2 seasons. Up Here canceled after 1 season. City on Fire canceled after 1 season. The Peripheral canceled after 1 season. A League of Their Own again canceled after 1 season. The Great canceled after 3 seasons. The other 2 canceled after 3 seasons. We're almost done. The Idol canceled after 1 season. Suspicion canceled after 1 season. Doogie Kamealoha MD canceled after 2 seasons. How I Met Your Father canceled after 2 seasons.
What?
Breeders canceled after 4 seasons. Yep, you heard right. Game Theory with Bomani Jones canceled after 2 seasons. No, not that Game Theory. High Desert canceled after 1 season. Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel canceled after 29 seasons. I think we can all calmly agree as gentlemen and adults that the reason why a lot of these TV shows might be canceled is because nobody knows what the fuck they were.
Yeah, like, I'm... Granted, I don't watch a whole lot of TV lately, but I do watch stuff. I try to keep track of things, because I'm a giant fucking nerd, you know?
Here's the other problem. If you want people to watch your series, make sure you advertise it enough. I only know a few of these shows because they're genuinely interesting, or because there was something to talk about them.
Almost made 500 million in the box office.
Cobra Kai was interesting, obviously, and the Titans show could have been good. The only reason why that was even successful was because people were hate watching it, and because normies didn't know any better. All these other shows, nobody watched them because nobody knew what the fuck they were. Bro, how many of you even knew what Los Espookies were until I just talked about it? How many of you even knew what a Black Lady sketch show was after I just talked about it? How many of you even heard of The Game after I just said its title? The Game, the most generic title you could ever think of, and outside of Triple H.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and like if you're not talking about, Triple H, if you're not playing in the fucking Motorhead song there, or like, I don't know what we're doing.
Even worse, the good shows are being canceled. Young Rock canceled? Why? Fucking why? The Rock has money. He clearly's got money.
Yeah,
well, it's probably got something to do with the strike.
The Rock used that money to,
This was before the strike. They canceled it before the strike.
Oh yeah.
They canceled it before the strike. You're saying nobody watched this? Nobody? Not a wrestling fan in sight. No WWE, no WWF, no WCW, no ECW, no just genuine Rock fans.
You'd have to tell Ben about this, because I'm sure he might have known about it, or would be genuinely surprised that this existed.
Dude, the only reason I even knew about Reservation Dogs was again because of the preview and because of the previews, the trailers showing that it's mostly a Native American cast, and because of that meme, William Knife Man. No, that cough is actually part of it. Fucking Christ, man! A lot of these teams. Oh, why are they canceling so many shows? When was the last time you heard about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, granted, you know, they deserve the end. They deserve a genuine ending after all they've been through. Cobra Kai, Archer, you know, those deserve endings after their long run. They deserve a break. But fucking Young Rock, only 4 seasons. You're gonna cancel that show? Inside Job? Jesus Christ, man. Doom Patrol? You're canceling Doom Patrol? That did better than Titans ever did. And then I'm like hearing like, oh, well, we're gonna make True Lies into a TV show. You're gonna make True Lies a TV show and then just...
That was produced by Matt Nix, by the way, who also created Burn Notice, and, that's,
bad idea. That was a bad idea, man, on his part.
I'm not gonna say bad idea. It's a spy show. Oh, you know, it could have been a good idea.
Spy shows work, but if you're gonna try and do them off of an old 80s movie, that's
90s.
very, very... Oh, 80s, 90s, 70s, early 2000s. It's extremely risky, especially if the only source material you have is the one movie and nothing else. Granted, Karate Kid, it might have been tough to make a Netflix show out of it, but there was plenty there. You had the original trilogy, you had the cartoon, you had the infamous game. You could have done a lot with it. Like, oh shit, I didn't tell them that they had the rights to my image for that game. Or like, same thing with Johnny Lawrence. They did a great redemption arc with that guy. They had plenty to work with because there was already plenty of stuff that was stuffed into the films that they could work with. True Lies was, well, let's be fair, it was just another spy film, but they did enough of it to make it unique. You're gonna reboot it into a modern day show, it's just gonna blend in. There's no Schwarzenegger. There's no funny antics trying to cover up the fact that he's a spy. There's no funny puns.
Well, Kevin, guess what?
You beat him?
Yes, I did.
First try?
Second try, but yes.
Awesome.
And I didn't do any additional grinding. I just changed what order I put out some of my Pokemon in.
Alright, glad to hear it.
Here's another thing though.
You,
if they want to make a show, don't try and go for like multi-seasons if you want to base it off a movie. At least try and go for something small if it's based off of something that doesn't have much to work with. True Lies maybe could have done some... Like, here's the thing. True Lies, as bad of an idea as I thought it was to reboot it into a modern-day spy show, I think if put into the right hands, it might have worked. Like, let's say, okay, the guy's trying to hide from his wife that he's a special agent. Okay, that's episode 1. Or maybe season 1. Then you go to season 2. Try to hide the fact that you're a secret agent to your daughter now.
Yeah.
And season 3.
And you gotta have the wife get in on it by at least, it's like towards the end of season 1 or about the halfway point.
Right. That's
that way that plot doesn't get stretched out too far.
Right. That's what I'm actually getting at. Like after every season, more and more family members are like actually getting into the family business, I guess you could say. Like, oh, I'm trying. Like, you know, the first one, after the first season, the wife gets in. The second season, the daughter gets in. Then the third season, like, the daughter's best friends come in, and then the boyfriend, and then, like, the dad's family, and the mom's family, and then maybe it could be something along the lines of, like, oh, your father-in-law was a spy the whole time. He was a part of the rivals. He's part of the rivals spy team. He's like, what?
Yeah.
It could be like this Archer thing. You know, they could have done something like that, but no, they want to try and stretch it out with just this one concept and only this one concept. They're not trying.
I mean, this show only lasted for one season, so we don't know where the hell they were going to take it.
Right, but at the same time,
I don't think either of us have watched it either, so...
Right, but at the same time, whenever they do something like this, it's very single-minded and very narrow, and very narrow tunnel vision.
Yeah, you kind of know where they're going to go with this stuff.
By the way, not to disrupt your train of thought, but Alex, what were your overall thoughts of Pokemon Generation 2?
Once you figure out how to make the whole thing work together, it's pretty good. But there's some stuff where like you're not gonna naturally get to the points where you would be if you were where the game wants you to be. So well, you're kind of forced off the beaten trail to grinding quite a bit. So you know.
Fair enough.
Here's my idea.
I did enjoy my time with this, but so Gizmo, I wanna bring up something to you. So there is a show that takes a concept that they got 4 movies out of, and they try to stretch out the premise of like the first movie to more than a single season. Do you want to know what that show was? And by the way, it was on CBS.
I was gonna say Homelander for a second there. Highlander?
Okay, no, Highlander. Highlander lasted for 7 seasons, and it was good right up until the last season when they basically, I think they shot it during the production of Highlander 4 and Highlander 4, and it basically featured a bunch of backdoor pilots. So this is a movie. This is a TV show that was made recently that was based on a series of movies from the 80s and 90s.
Rambo?
Oh, good question. Close, but no. Lethal Weapon.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, there was a Lethal Weapon TV show.
Was being the key word.
They had 2 guys who looked nothing like Riggs and Murtaugh, acting nothing like Riggs and Murtaugh. Riggs became a whiny emo bitch with a mustache.
I mean,
and well, the mustache thing wouldn't have been too big a deal if it wasn't for the fact that it completely highlights the fact that our lead actor looks nothing like Mel Gibson.
And then they got the guy from My Wife and Kids as Murtaugh, which made no sense to me.
Well, Riggs and so let me pull this up here. So,
like, I get it, he's on in his years, and he might have been as old as Murtaugh was, the character anyway, maybe not the actor, but
yeah. So this series started in 2016, ended in 2019, and then they had Damon Wayans as Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Lane Crawford as Riggs, and then Riggs left in season 2. After season 2, so they had to replace him. So Lane Crawford. Oh no, he was fired. So yeah, Lane Crawford.
The writing was on the wall.
Dismissed from the show, quote unquote, for on-set behavioral issues, and they were looking to replace him for the 3rd season. Sean William Scott wound up playing a character named Wesley Cole, and if you're wondering who that was in the Lethal Weapon movies, he wasn't. And they had him as the new lead, the new co-lead rather. And then Damon Wayans said, I can't do this without Lane Crawford, and then they were and he apparently got diagnosed with diabetes around that time. So he had to they had to rearrange the schedule so that he could deal with that. And he said, I'm leaving. And after season 3, That's great.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's why I
make
never
that
thought.
show in the first place.
Here's the reason why I thought that movie should have never been a TV show in the first place.
What the fuck? They had
never.
Leo Getz in the show, played by Thomas Lennon. The
Uh,
role was originally played by Joe Pesci in the other movies. So
yeah,
you know.
wasn't he like retired from acting at that time though? Like,
I'm not saying it should have been Joe Pesci. I'm just saying
it could have been.
like you had a guy from Reno 911 who looks nothing like him. And it has
Joe Pesci back, man.
And they could have had Joe Pesci back. They could have gotten, and they could have done any kind of thing. Fucking you remember the fucking Limitless show? They actually got Bradley Cooper to show up in that TV show.
Well, here the big thing I was trying to say was the reason why I don't think Lethal Weapon would have made a good TV show was because Lethal Weapon was known for its how much damage just those two cops made. Like, never mind Terminator 2 with the crane through the building, never mind the fucking gas tanker that was chasing after Schwarzenegger on the bike. Dude, they destroyed entire buildings, entire blocks, entire neighborhoods, like entire construction sites. Those guys did more damage than the Terminator ever did in either 1, 2, or even 3.
You can't do that on a TV budget. You can't do that.
You cannot do that on a TV budget. If you do, then someone dirty fucking rich must be in charge of the goddamn budget.
So
like, holy
Alex,
shit.
Alex, are you just done with the game now?
Yeah, I'm done with the game.
So we can just so are we to call it for the night?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it for the night. It's too late for me to start up playing Spider-Man, and I don't even have it installed. I've been working on other stuff all day.
Right. So anyway, I'm just gonna save and and then we'll call it. Next time on Pokemon Emerald, I will be pursuing Team Magma, and Team Aqua.
Magma.
What?
But next week will be Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So until then,
I'm trying to remember what I'm playing.
You're playing
What am I playing?
You were playing Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode.
Oh,
2.
Sonic 4. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'll have to try and get the last Chaos Emerald in that. I was close. I was real close.
Well, anyway,
I might just give up and actually, you know what? I'm gonna try it a couple more times at the start of the stream, and then I'm just gonna give up and finish the game without it if I don't get it.
Anyway, toodles.